He might be better than Crunch. Like,
he's
move it to the
SSS plus broken. Okay, ego. Our Whoopi is not on the. He doesn't understand that we're joking. This character is fucking ass.
You're influencing the wrong people.
Some Iggy made just watched
walking
that.
Gold buff. Walking gold buff. If you need 100 gold to buy an item, find an Iggy and go get your reward, bro. It's oh my god, trash can.
Welcome everyone to the Outplayed podcast, a weekly show where we talk all things Paragon, the Overprime, entertainment, anime, Killmonger and his sexy looks. I am your co-host Cordy. Alongside me we got Ego and Wolfie. How are you guys doing today?
Chilling.
Doing. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Terrible. Rank has me emotionally diffed. I'm gonna be honest.
Rank has been super tough. We can hop straight into it because we just came up on rank, and oh man, it is quite the experience in NA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I will ever quite recover from the thing. Like, okay, so like, Cordy, can I bring up the AI to 10 thing?
No, yeah, everything. We're this is where we let everything go. This is the podcast, dude. We're letting all the emotions go, the stress.
I'll go first. Okay, so like I would like to preface this with say small community love is insane. Like I appreciate it. I'm like, you guys are goats, you guys are amazing. Like literally when I say like much love, stay overpowered, I really mean that with my whole chest. Small community ranked is the most egregiously painful process I have ever been against. Like, it's because everyone you play with is literally the IRS, bro. And if somebody wants to snipe you, it's free. Yeah. Like, literally, we have 4 people in the ranked queue. If all of a sudden Wolfie's like, I want to go trade in a Figo, he literally clicks the button. It's guaranteed he's in my lobby. And also, the bar to play ranked is so low.
Super low.
It is. Okay, guys, I want you to open up your mind real quick. Be in your mental palace for just a moment. No matter if you're playing ranked, you just finished your placements, you're relatively close to hitting gold because you've been on a little bit of a win streak, and this is the beginning of, like, this is when the Fire Nation attacks, bro. It's all downhill from there. You hop in with your friend. Let's call him Wardy, right? And you guys are just going to be playing a couple ranked games. And your mid laner, they're not doing so good. They're diffed. I'm talking pure subtraction. There's a difference between their mid laner and ours, Cordy. And I'm just like, I'm trying so hard, but all the best junglers are banned, right? So like I'm playing Fang Mao, the bald purple starburst monk, trying to put it on my back, and ultimately we lose. It is what it is. You're like, I wonder if they're a new player. Not only Wolfie, look me in my eyes.
True story, by the way.
This is real.
True story.
Not only are they sub 40 hours into the game, right? Their battle record history is nothing but AI battles.
Oh my god.
They just exclusively played AI battles until level 10, way too low of a level, and then was like, yeah, man, I don't know. I've gotten diffed a couple of times by these robots. I know Series brought it to me a couple times, but now's the time to play ranked. And they just hop in and just get it's like if you got RKO'd onto the 9th level of hell from the top ropes of where you used to be bullied in high school. It's in like it was in Cordy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
I almost lost my mind, dude. Like that has been living in my head. Like I go to sleep and I just see the row.
You see the Gideon
AI
morale
battles.
boost?
Yeah.
The Gideon morale boost. Oh,
yeah. Some heinous things in rank.
The Gideon morale boost. Like it is nuts, dude. It's so insane, man.
and then today too, like today we had a level 10 and level 12, you know, still like getting it to ranked. They have no idea what's going on. And one of them was like, they died multiple times. Like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not playing it anymore. So we're automatically down a person. The second one was same concept. They died. A lot of BM in the chat and they just disconnected. So we're down another person.
It's literally like Prof said it the best. Like, why we're like, let's follow Prof Primate on cheap. He just got affiliated. Hey, but Prof said it the best. He was like, man, no way that I kept face checking this character. They used their kit to pull me in and put me in a bad situation. There's no way that this would ever happen again. And me and Cordy have also learned that FaZe is apparently just the
busted,
goat
apparently.
in silver. Like, apparently, like, people just can't, they're like, they see the tether and they're just like, she must only be able to do it once per game. There's zero shot if I walk into them again that she's going to yoink me. It's so nuts, and the characters terrible.
Yeah.
It's
the same thing with Wukong. Like, Wukong is really good in the early stages, like silver and bronze, but like once you get to like gold 2, that's where people, oh my god, he's gonna take my tower if I don't follow him. And then that's where that skill gap, that the epiphany of, you go from gold 2, you don't know how to fight Wukong. You hit gold 1, you're just like, I'll follow him and he'll lose. And then it's crazy. It's like, I don't know why it works that way, but it does. FaZe is the same thing. She's gonna tether me, I'm gonna lose. She doesn't have tether again, I'll be all right. We'll just run at her. And like, that's the other thing too, is when I play ranked, I'll play normally, right? I'll try to be aggressive. I'll try and do whatever I can to get pressure on the lane. If I die because they just outclassed me, the next time I go up to them, I'm gonna be a little bit more conservative, a little bit more safe. When I tell you people are going like 1-13, 2-18, I said to him, I'm like, you died 3 times in the first 5 minutes. I just got my red buff as your jungler, and you've died twice. And you think, let's do it again. And when you go and do it again, and then I get no jungle, LOL.
Yeah,
no
dude.
rotation, no.
No, literally, dude, the jaws literally drive me mad. Like, you do not understand. I literally have mantras I have to recite now when the gadget. Oh my god! Today oh my god, Wolfie. In my ranked game, right? I am Fang Mao. I am currently 3-1 off of some early picks, right? I'm talking sub 10 minutes. I clear my blue side. I rotate to middle to show presence. And I'm like, I'm going to just sit in lane in order to absorb some XP to continue growing my level lead, right? Like, I'm not like designing the next Tesla. I'm not asking you to like understand ergonomics here, bro. I kid you not, bro. Listen to me. I kid you not. It was insanity. I took 1 minion, not even a range one, because 2 of them went red at the same time. And I'm like, you're not going to be able to get both of them because this one in front of me is getting channeled by the wave prio. You're going to just miss it. And obviously, you're going to prioritize the Canyon minion who you've knocked in a red. So I auto that one. They stop, look at me, triple ping, and going, yeah, we can just FF in chat. And then the Muriel on the other side of the map, my brother in Christ goes, yeah, we're going to have to run it down. And
It's crazy, man.
And then the mid laner's typing, he took my whole wave. I'm like, I literally have it recorded. I took 1. I'm splitting XP for the level lead. It's just the willingness and the readiness to just be like, yeah, I didn't really want to play ranked. I wanted to find somebody to slightly wrong me so I could like go blow up their house and like kill their dogs. Like, it's
justify
insane.
my self-esteem issues on this one jungler taking the minion from me. It's pretty rough out there, dude. It really is.
It is actually nuts, bro. And I'm like, dog. And the thing is, so me and let's say theoretically, this person, Wardy, are obvious. Like, the backpack is so heavy. I feel like Dora the Explorer, Wolfie. I'm just like I look over to my only teammate, Wardy, and he's like 12-1, and I'm like 17-3, and I'm just like, and at the end of the game, literally everyone else on team is negative by at least 5 kills, and I'm just like. Okay, well, it is what it is. And they literally go like, maybe I could have got that kill if this ape jungler didn't like go. So, and I'm just
we're fragging at this point too. They're still bringing it on, dude.
And I'm like, it's
crazy.
Insane, bro.
I try to like live by the mantra. If I'm negative, everything that I have as far as like how people should conduct themselves in the matters of whether they should overextend, they should dive, they should go for this, it's out the window if I'm negative. But if like I'm equal to like my team most of the time, you know, maybe I'll be like, hey, maybe we should try and go for a pick first before we go for prime. But like if I'm negative by 5 or 6, every opinion, option, strategy, out the window. You're negative. You have no reason to be at the damn table. Like, you just sit there and provide your health bar, no matter, even if you are if you're the support, I don't care. But
it's nuts, dude.
The confidence that these people have, like, I don't understand. Who raised you to be negative in your life and to just be, I'm the game caller. You don't know what you're doing because you're feeding, and it's like, oh my god, dude.
It's nuts, and it's even worse when you're obviously in the backpack and you made the call that I'm terrible super early on. And now you're obviously in my backpack, but you just can't accept the fact you're looking up at God and you're like, I swear he must be cheating. Like, you're literally punching through your monitor because you are so deep in my backpack. You're like the Lost City in America. You're deeper than Atlantis. We're in the Meridian trenches of my spine, and you're not even paying my chiropractor, and you literally are like, report. I mentally damaged, bro, but not as mentally damaged as our Chimera, who died twice and then quit the game. He was just like, I'm
we're
gonna
like,
Chimera
man,
into ranked. I died off the invades also after he stole jungle from me.
So what we got to get into the tier list here because it's going to be a while. So hopefully this tier list, I guess maybe out of a little bit of rage, we're making this tier list for new players to come in and you know, try to get a little bit of experience with. Also for all these new players that are coming to the console scene, we got the CBT like right around the corner. So tier list to hopefully help you guys get into the game and understand and like who's good and you know, who's not really playable. But for you guys, I'm gonna put it on my stream, and then we'll just do the tier list that way.
We just like Cordy bring in what characters we're gonna like.
Well, we're gonna go in order. We're gonna go in order. So we'll start here, and then for everyone, this is gonna be more like you know what we're experiencing in rank, what's pretty good in like the casual scene. You know, like in a good example, FaZe. I don't think FaZe is a really great character. She does pump stomp really easily with new players, but I don't want to put that out there that you should be playing FaZe in like ranked or in your quick play. She's not really, you know, if you want to play her, have fun. But she's not really someone that you want to, you know, try to master down because we put her here like A+ or something crazy. So for me, it's gonna be like overall character skill and as well as you know what we're seeing in the rank scene.
Okay.
All right. So first we have is Wraith. So we can kind of like you know we can all just kind of go over what Wraith is. Let's break down his. Let's you know talk about like how he does what he does well in the team and things like that, and then we'll kind of do our placements.
Okay. See, for me with Wraith in team style, he's just poke. That's his whole identity is to be a little mosquito to let you know, like, I'm still here. You can't leave or you can't sprint. I'm poking you. That rewind has some good play, but you have to time it correctly. And not a lot of Wraith players, they do it out of panic. So like you just rewind me to the spot where I was instead of rewinding me out of position. But the ult is useless.
Yeah, he's really good at warding now. I would say that's a good plus because the you know how wards work in this game now, where you can't see them in the build. You can have multiple wards out, including your free wards. So a little plus there. But his ult's trash. Great poke. Rewind can be really useful. What do you think, Ego? Any more extra thoughts on Wraith?
No, I basically agree with all the points. It's one of the things with this character, like also Shinbi too. It's like the dichotomy of the character depending on whose hands they're in, right? Like there was a very long time in like the higher competitive levels that the combination of Wraith as well as Sparrow and like the dual lane just ran games. The combination of Wraith plus Narbash on your team just ran games because his poke is so good that it provides a lot of advantage. But I do feel like Wraith really shines the most when you have a team that is really willing and ready to play around that character. So like I do think Wraith is a good pick, but I do not think he's like great, especially if you're like playing solo and stuff. So I'd put him,
I'm thinking like B tier.
I'd put him B, maybe after we have other people said, I might put him at the bottom of A. But B tier, I'm pretty comfortable with.
I'm comfortable with B. Yeah,
and then we'll come back. We'll look at the tier list and make adjustments. You know, if we think that someone's
calm down. Comment section. There are adjustments that will be made.
But he's like viable. F tier definitely like S tier. You're picking, you're banning, you're purse picking. Same thing with A+. A tier is like those are the characters that are left over. B is kind of like your average character. C is below average, and F tier is just why are you picking this character you want to lose? So it's kind of like the tier ranking that we got here. So Shinbi is gonna be next. Mainly played in the jungle. She's really tough to get going, but whenever she does a lot of damage. Playing her in mid lane is another play style, but yeah, just a lot of damage in this kind of meta right now. You get invaded super easily, so you want to have quick farm in the jungle. You want to be a little bit more tanky. These warriors tanks are more meta pick. So for me, Shimmy is not really the best of a character, but if she gets going, she can kind of like dominate, late game, just 100-0 somebody.
I've never really seen a Shinbi at the competitive level or really like in my games where I'm like, man, I'm so happy I got Shinbi instead of X amount of characters, right? Like I see the characters and it's always kind of like well, I guess, or like this will be good at 28 minutes when she has the third item online. She's just so vulnerable within the jungle, and I 100% agree that her clear speed is just so bad. The place I've seen her played mostly has been in solo lane, because she's just always on that island, and so she's just like trying to get some good trade. She has a double dash, so like her mobility is pretty solid. But even with that, like in consideration, she's not bringing stuff to her team fight for so long. It feels like I don't know. I feel like this is like Shinbi for me. I've seen it only win once, like at the OPO level, and that's with Cranky like playing it, and it was during like an exhibition. So Shinbi for me is like the definition of like a B tier character in my head.
What are your thoughts on it, Wolfie?
Yeah, like we said, we see her in the solo, right? And whenever I have a Shinbi on my team, I'd rather a tank than a Shinbi.
Exactly.
Like, she's very selfish. She's being a damaged character. You're a selfish character. Same thing with like someone like Kwang is a damage. He's a damaged. He's very selfish. He can lock somebody down, and that you could see that in true fights. But like, he's not peeling for his team. He's not saving his team. He's just getting in their face, doing damage, stunning people, and that's his job. Shinbi to me is like, oh, I'll go run at the tank, get my 6 wolves, and throw it at the ADC. It's and by then, your team's either shredded and she's the last one alive, which she just lock her down. She's not tanking. She's gonna try and heal and kill you, which she's not gonna be able to sustain that. I don't know. Shinbi's, I would say B tier is a good spot for her because. Never have I ever been like, oh, they have a Shinbi in the solo lane. I'm afraid, I'm not. She's gonna do damage, but that's great. When she does damage, I'm just gonna go tank for the rest of the team. Like, I don't know. When Shinbi on solo lane, when I see it, I'm just like, you're not a tank, so we have no tank. We have a Walmart damage dealer over there. We give her 30 minutes, and she'll finally do something.
Yeah, and I will say, as a B tier character, I would rank her higher than Wraith. Just because like you get to the late game and you do she does have a goal, right? Of just like, well, I guess like as far as a middling character, once you get to that threshold, you are pretty godly, like with the life steal and the sustain and the burst and the like healing you can get off of it. I think the character is like pretty solid, but I think B tier is like the best place for her. Yeah,
and we'll go back and do adjustments and in case we need to. So next up, one of the characters that is always banned and ranked, Mr. Gruxy Boy, solo laner, jungler, tanky warrior, damage warrior while building, with hybrid tanky. Minimum A+.
I agree.
Yeah.
Minimum.
100%. Well, the bar for the line is A+. I do not think comparatively, like this is just overall for characters that are in the game. I don't think Grux breaks quite into S with some of the balance. Like S for me is like it's locked in, it's an auto win basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like brain turned off, it's a dub. But Grux, I mean, we've seen how strong his displacement is, his stun, his damage, his bleed, which is also an anti-heal. Like he literally just has everything in the game.
I think we all agree, right? A+ pretty easy.
Yeah, A+. He's got good laning phase in his CC. CC's king, so his laning phase is good. His team fight is good. His end game, if he's building health and power, he can be. He's going to be squishy, or not squishy. He's going to be harder to kill, but he'll stay alive long enough to do what he's supposed to do. Like as far as other people that just die at the end of the game, like Chimera.
Next up, we got a fan favorite here by Wolfie. The
My
Kwang
dude with the Sparky stick, dude. I love this guy.
Yeah, another warrior not being picked up a lot. I think I rarely see Kwong being played. And if I do, I'm not like super worried about him. He does like he's a character that if you're a really great player, this character is amazing. But for a majority, he's kind of average. I think he's definitely not a B tier. Grux I think is better. We're not seeing him picked up a lot, so I think A is probably a good place for Kwong. He's just average. Any thoughts on that?
My question is, like, we saw Kwong running rampant in the OPL like last month, right? I have not been seeing him in comp.
Yeah, he fell off hard.
I don't know what happened. Is it just that limited amount of people that know how to play him, or like there are, as far as team like fight, he can't do much for the team fight. He's very selfish. He's just more. It's just I'm gonna knock you up, and hopefully my team does my job. But S tier, he used to be like top pick, #1 ban. Now he's not, and they didn't touch him. They didn't make a pass at him, like as far as his kid or anything. So I guess people just learned how to fight him.
I think it's more about the itemization on him.
Yeah, because like you build him tanky, right? Warriors are kind of strong, and they're even played in the solo as well. These warrior items, and with the addition with Crunch, Grox, Sarah, even Pink Mao, like they're just much more better than what Kwong. As far as like clearing goes, and invading is so heavily a thing in this game because it's really easy to invade. I think all those little factors kind of go in, making Kwong bringing him back down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. I also just think that like a lot of players have just kind of figured him out, right? You're like reading his auto attacks. And you're like, okay, well, if you don't have the knock up, like you said yourself, Wolf, right? His team fight pressure isn't the greatest. He's going in on one person, and there's a ton of people in the game who can potentially go in on one person, but also like do it better. Like Crunch is an example, and he like does that, but he can also just like maintain being a frontline engager who's going to be able to get around some group damage if people get too close. So I think A is a comfortable spot for him.
Yeah.
All right, and then next up, who has no team fight potential, but who's really popular, and we saw a lot in the OPL.
Yeah.
Like the big tournament we had was like every game was Sarah, which was kind of blowing my mind. But yeah, Sarah, man, her clear is amazing. Doesn't have great CC, but great clear, great damage. She's really safe with being able to evade damage and be able to stay in the air for a little bit, get your cooldowns back, and then kind of re-engage or stuff like that. Sarah she's definitely I think above Kwong. Probably going to be in that A+. I don't think she's going to be S tier. What do you guys think?
I think A+. Like
A+.
Her ult, if you get caught in any of her abilities and you have any fire kick on you, the damage you are taking baseline level 1 is plus 20% for 4 seconds, right? So that is a lot of additional damage attached to an ult on a relatively lower cooldown, especially when you get on higher levels, on someone who's going to always be able to get that damage on you. So she like amplifies the team fight by making everyone take more damage. And I think that's like been seen as really valuable. And not only that, she's also relatively easily, like comparatively to some other characters, able to apply big boy demoralization, right? Like you can see a steel charge you and you can stun them out of it. You can see a Crunch about to dash you and you can like stun them out of it. That airdrop from her is letting her get to the backline a lot easier than some characters, and it also has enough maneuverability to where she's able to disengage easier than some characters. And I think those things together make her A+.
Yeah, I'd say she's A+ in the jungle. A tier, I'd say for her in the soul lane, because I feel like once you build Zima's, you'll be okay as long as you don't fight her in her ult.
Yeah.
So she's like that with Kwong and Grux. You don't fight them in their ults, but she's that increase they gave her where she does like additional damage if you're taking that tick damage from her is what really shot her up the board. Is just that crazy amount of damage when she's in her ult, and if she's only focusing you, it's insane.
All right, and then next up we got TB. This is kind of my home turf here, the ADCs.
Oh yeah.
TB's he's just an average character, right? His passive base stats are really good, so he can attack speed quicker. His ult is good early game, mid game. It's more of like stopping someone from running away. He has a great dash to get out of like there's certain situations. His right click is kind of meh. But I think overall, I think TB is just an average character. I think he's more of an A tier. Some other hunters are better. Some rangers are better.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely say probably A tier. I do think there's better options, but it's definitely not the worst one.
Yeah.
You said it. You said it the best. This is your home turf. I played like one ADC, and from what I've seen out of Twin Blast, I mean, he does have some cool techs on him that I do think keep him out of that B tier, like the great sword ability to shred with his Q and right click and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like A tier. I would say he's comparable for his position to a Qualm, so I'm comfortable with an A tier.
Yeah, I'd say I'm cool with that too. His grenades are really good early. His ult again end game is like you're on that animation time, and the lack of critting that you're doing in the ult is what hurts you.
Yeah.
So his ult falls off end game. His laning is just like normal ADC, sit back. His grenades though are pretty good early. His dash is very good too. It's a pain in the ass to catch up to.
Yeah, when ultimately when it comes down to it, when it comes to late game, he just has a dash. His grenades fall off. His ult, you're doing less damage. You might as well just auto attack. And the right click, the auto attacks, just bigger crits or damage. So late game, he definitely falls off. Laning phase, it's early mid, he's not terrible, but late game, he's kind of bad. Kalari, which I think is like kind of a sleeper pick, man. Honestly, with these new ward changes, if you're in communication with your mid laner, like yo, they put a ward right side, you could just stealth. I got kind of like fucked up sometimes on mid when the duo was mid and jungle. They had the ward knowledge, and I was like, okay, I gotta play differently now.
Oh man,
what do you think? What are you thinking?
I have not a polar opposite, but I do have like a contending take on this. I think Kalari's B tier.
B, okay.
I do not think she has the tools that she needs currently to be great. They have nerfed every facet of this character that kind of made her a higher echelon pick, especially like within pubs. We did see her get ran of the OPL to limited success previously, but with like the ward changes, right? If you don't have that ward control on the map and like your quick plays in your ranked game, then you know you're always going to be seen. Even when you go invisible, they nerfed how quickly you can go. They took away her double jump, so as of now, she's not able to take alternate routes to getting spots. And even as it is now, so if you don't have that communication and you are on a ward, you have no way outside of reading the actions of someone on the other team. And even like before that change, they changed and took the damage off of her dagger and put it on what comes after the dagger, which means you need to be able to do damage. And then they removed her mobility after that. So it very much so feels like a character that like has potential to be good. They have some items that could make them very good, but for them to do the thing is so much harder than other junglers that it feels a lot of the time like it's not worth trying necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know. For Kalari, I think she's just a pub stopper. She's the person who punishes the people who don't use their wards. Like that's her. That's the only way she excels. If you have the ward, she gets negated. And like her ultimate, I feel like towards the end of the game, it's supposed to do a lot of damage, but people know that, so she can't really position herself to use it. And when she does, people will stun her out and kill her. So like she's like a weird character because she has to go all in on you.
Yeah.
And when she tries to escape, she can't because of the wards, right?
And then if like someone has CC ready, like if a support CC or anything like that.
Yeah. So I think she's just like a pub stomper. She's just the person who punishes people who don't pay attention to wards and all that stuff. That's about it.
I do think what Cordy said earlier, if sprint mode were to be removed from the game, I think Kalari jumps up. Like, I think she becomes a better pick. But as she is currently, like right now, I would actively like deep sigh if I see a Kalari kind of get locked in on my side of the team, just because like it's such an upward fight. And especially like, let's say in competitive, right? You lock that in, even as the last pick, the other team has upwards of 40 seconds to just go get the scout ahead karma for like maybe the mid laner takes it, you know, maybe the solo laner takes it. That way they have vision on their jungle to keep you from doing invades. There's just so many ways that she gets countered, and some of those ways are literally just good MOBA habits, like putting down wards.
All right. Next up, we get Sparrow. In my eyes, I think one of the very few A pluses as far as like the ADC goes. I don't know if I would put her in A. I feel like she's better than Twin Blast. Her clear is amazing during the laning phase. She has great range poke to keep him out of combat, to poke down the ADC. And when it comes to late game, the ultimate steroid combo, you're just running through everybody. Probably the one of the best, if not the best, ultimates for ADCs in the game.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I think her ult is what makes her S, but I don't know. It's a weird situation. When her end game for me would make it S, but when it comes to that end game, I don't know. People just have the demo and the shred, the potential like. But I have seen Sparrows flat out carry the game. But it's mainly just because of that ultimate. Her laning phase, she's poking you, she's farming well, she's
Great clear.
As far as ADCs, like if I have a Sparrow on my team, I'd rather have an ADC that's for the team instead of something like Twin Blast, who's just like, get away from me, I'm trying to back or something with the old Twin Blast ult, you know what I mean? So
Yeah. No,
I'd say A++.
Wolfie also hit on the notes. That ult is just so good. Like the damage spread goes nuts. I've said it like with Dapper previously on the cast. It's like, yeah, you click R on this character and you're not a carry anymore. You're a mage. You're just spreading so much damage around. So I do think A+ is kind of an earned spot for her. She is. I want to say like not super technical, but she is for me like the epitome of what a carry is. You land your auto attacks and then you activate an ability to land those auto attacks more. And so A+ feels like the right spot.
And then steroid, increased attack speed and movement speed. Really good. Next up, this one's gonna be a little bit tough for me because I think Gideon's really good. I just don't know if he's A+ good. He's either A or A+. Gideon's really safe in mid. He late game or even mid to late game. He has great like damage with his combo if he can hit it. The ultimate is kind of tricky because he does switch in about spot, so you have to be really safe and tactical with your ultimate. So for me, it's either A or A+. He's one of the very few mages in that A+ range if he is.
Okay, what do you think, Gordy? Or Ego?
Well, he just told her. Gideon, dude, it is kind of a toughie. So my argument for Gideon, I think, is A, just because if we're talking about like team fight and like damage potential and what they overall do bring to a team, I don't think it is comparable to what we have in A+. Like that is my whole thing. Like since we have some of the things down, Gideon, I do think it's like really good. But like, for example, Grux is good in your solo games. Grux is good in your comp games. Grux is good in the OPL. Same with Seraph. Sparrow, a little bit more vulnerable, skews a little bit more to having a lot more success in like the OPL, as well as in like comp games and stuff if their teams surround them properly. But like Gideon is safe, but I don't feel like without a team that you're in comms with, you can really bring out like quite what is as strong with him. And I don't know, with that in mind, if it is equal to what Grux and Seraph and Sparrow are kind of bringing to like team fights overall. So I'd probably put him in A tier.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. And again, we can always go back and make these adjustments.
Okay.
Another mage, Faye.
What do we think about Faye?
Great clear. Teamfight ultimates is insane. Like if you're talking about ultimates comparing to Gideon, teamfight ultimates, if you get a really good one, it does a lot of damage, puts people in a bad spot. Really great combo. It's pretty good damage on the ultimate, but her overall damage seems pretty lackluster. Where Gideon can, do his normal right click Q and like have healthier 75%. Faye doesn't really have that.
We'll see. I want your take on this one because this is like possibly one of the hardest placements for me.
Yeah, it is a hard placement for me too because like her laning phase, I don't know. It's hard. Before this patch, I'd say she was really good in the laning phase. That clear was unmatched. That ultimate it's so fast, it's so hard to react to that if you do have a team she's similar with Gideon, where like you have to work with the Gideon, you have to work with the Faye. I don't know. She's a weird spot. I would say A. But if you want, you could do A+ if like before the patches, before the nerfs. But I don't know. It's such a tricky spot for me. I'm not sure.
So
I'm more aligned with A. It's just the lack of damage she provides is 2 tick damage abilities. The main damage ability that's on an ultimate is like 65% scaling, super low compared to all the other mages. If she did more damage, I'd bump her up. But I think for me, comfortably, I'd put her at A.
I think if she had a getaway too, she'd be A+, but she doesn't have one really. So I think like Gideon on A for me. The reason I would say he's A+ is because he's got the good laning, the teleport, and the ult. Faye just has pretty much the same thing as Gideon without the escape. And the tick damage abilities, you're only going to get the value out of them if they stay in the ability, which no one's doing. So I don't know. Yeah, I'd say he's a good spot.
So I have a little bit of a hot take here. Possibly,
Oh,
I think she's
okay.
I think she's B. I think she's B. I think she's B because okay. I think she is B. It may be coming from a place of ignorance that I just have not seen enough of the character. But I mean, she does have some like solid parts. Can be very like amputable in a team fight and stuff. But it requires you to like be in comms and also have your team willing to kind of follow up with the damage, and you don't have anything in your kit to necessarily put you in a safer spot once you kind of commit to it if things don't swing like as well your way. I think she is. Yeah, I'm getting clipped right now. I think that she is worse than Gideon in most ways.
She is safer.
She's
But I think
I
her
don't
ult's
know.
better.
She doesn't have a getaway though. I actually agree with you. I'd say B. She's Gideon. She's Walmart Gideon without a getaway. Absolutely. Yeah. You got me. I'm with you, Ego.
Oh God, we're with you.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm 2-1 here, guys. I'm 2-1. Okay.
We die together.
Gordy, you
2-1
can't
here.
say you're 2-1. We are a unit, bro. We are the tribe.
I got outvoted, man. I got outvoted.
Oh man.
All right, we'll go back and we'll go back and revisit these things, and then we'll make our adjustments. So next up, Drongo. A decent character. Uranium rounds disgusting when it comes to late game. Ultimate's kind of meh. Late game, it's more of just like a leap. The right click is a slow, a little bit of poke and lane, nothing crazy. The poison cloud silence is really huge around team fights, and peeling for yourself. For me, I don't think he's better than Sparrow. I'm going for A. Just mainly because the uranium rounds are so good when it comes to late game to do damage to these tanks.
What do you think? Here you go.
Any
You
other
take this.
thoughts?
Oh man. Okay. So like here comes a little bit of the difficulty. For carry specifically, like I played most everything but carry really. So a lot of the information I'm pulling is like what I know of like OPL win rates and like, you know, what I see in like high level play lobbies. But Drongo does get picked a lot and he does very well. I'd make the argument that I see him more than Sparrow. So possibly in my opinion, you maybe can't. I think wherever Sparrow is, Drongo also is. I don't think the disparity between the two of them is large enough that you aren't able to like separate them by rank. So I'm kind of the opinion, like, since I see these characters so close in contention all the time, is that if Sparrow's an A plus, then maybe Drongo is, or if Sparrow is an A plus and Drongo isn't, maybe Sparrow should be dropped. So, this is so hard since I don't play carry specifically. I'm gonna safe pick it. I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna say A.
Yeah, for me personally, this is I being that I play the carry. I prefer having Sparrow over Drongo. Again, ultimate is useless when it comes to late game. It's more just a peel for yourself. The gas is amazing. Silence is great. It's good for your self peel, and might be good around objectives as well to prevent any kind of karmas, things like that. Uranium rounds are the key to this character when it comes to late game. You can just shred tanks with that uranium rounds. But ultimate is very, very lackluster for me. So
all right.
I put him in the A tier.
See, I don't know. I'm comparing him with Twin Blast because like he doesn't have a getaway like Twin does. His ult is useless like Twin's is in the end game.
But he has a different.
You think the uranium rounds and the silence make up for it?
Yeah,
I
silence
know the
is
U
huge.
rounds too. I'm afraid of the uranium rounds.
Yeah,
as a soul laner. I'm
your
afraid of
tank.
the
You
end
know that burst damage that he has is insane. The true damage on your max
I'm just not
HP.
seeing the value on the silence. Like the only time I see the silence value is when I'm diving him personally, and he puts it on himself.
That's the play, right? Self peel. If you're playing like I don't know, Kwong, or like if you're Grux and you dive me, I'm dropping on my feet. You can't use any abilities. I'm just kind of dancing around and getting free damage. So
maybe A tier is a good spot then.
I wouldn't put him at B because he's still useful. I mean, all carries.
Yeah, he is still useful. Yeah.
Next up, kind of in the same boat, I think with Murdoch. They buffed his right click, so he is great peel for himself. His Q allows him to have a lot of like poke and lane. His E is kind of useless unless you're going kind of that build style. His ultimate is great for securing kills, keeping people from running away, and keeping rooted. Late game, you're not really using his ult in team fights. You're kind of just left clicking. So around team fights, mid to late game, or I guess late game, it's going to be just auto attacks and you have right click to appeal for yourself. For me, again, ADCs are not really that bad. All of them pretty solid. Same thing. I'm going with A tier on Gideon or Murdoch What do you guys
Oh.
think?
Really?
Yes, back to back with the hot takes. His ego. I think Murdoch's B tier. I
B?
do. I think he's B tier. The greatest thing about him, it is knockback. And so I would like to say I am not taking into account the Necron.
Yeah. No.
That is such a far outlier of like so few people can do it. I don't think you can take it into account for a tier list. I think he's B. He has a way to peel for himself, but so does Drongo. But Drongo's damage is better. He doesn't have a steroid. He has long range, like clear, I guess, with the missile launcher, especially since we're talking about him as a carry in itself. His ult is useful, and global ults do provide like a degree of presence. But I would put Murdoch at the top of B tier.
Yeah, we don't have like a B plus. I agree.
Yeah, like he is like your standard. Like it's like he's the stevia of carries, right? He's not giving anyone cavities, but it's still kind of sweet. It's like it's all right. Like I'd put him in the top. Like if we could like horizontally change these, and that would also like have the order and stuff, he would be hugging the yellow. But I do not think he measures up against like Drongo, and definitely not with Sparrow.
Yeah, Sparrow's on. Go ahead.
I gotta pull up the chat, and I gotta see who's gonna flame me. I really think he's like C tier, dude.
You think he's C? Okay, he's not that bad. He's not that bad,
dude. I'm telling you,
No.
I'm telling you, dude. Like his E is useless. All right, you take that out.
Yes.
Like, listen, and the reason I'm saying, let me see. He doesn't have a steroid, so that's bad. His ultimate, no one is. I swear, I've never in all of the cons that have ever crossed over Prime. No one's saying we're gonna go in. Murdoch, prep him with an ult. No one says that. No one does that. So his ultimate out the door. His R&B.
Okay, so the ultimate goes. Okay, because I'm an ADC main. I play ADC. His ultimate is really good when you're fighting in that 1v1 in lane or 2v2 in lane. You do it's like quick burst, right? You're auto attacking. You Q. You auto ult. You get that quick burst of damage. You're not like Twin Blast where you're sitting there, you're ulting. You insta-fire, come out of it, and start autoing again. So that's really good clears. And then when it comes to late game, you're not really using that, but it's mainly keeping people in combat or trying to maybe picking people off. If your team is rotating on someone and someone's sprinting, you can snipe them.
I don't know.
Allow your team to
I've
catch
never
up.
I've never been afraid of a Murdoch because he's Murdoch. I'm afraid of him because he's an endgame ADC. You know what I mean?
I would say to kind of like I would just pull this on. Cordy, out of all the OPL games we've casted together, tournaments we've casted together, and like league games you've seen or we've been in together, how many times have we seen Murdoch locked in as the carry?
We've seen some. We have. You might not. We've seen a few
during the early life of the game. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, but as it sits currently, I would like to say for the record, I definitely don't think he's C tier. Like,
no, not C.
That's like C tier is the most.
He doesn't have a steroid. He doesn't have a getaway. His ult is utterly useless unless you're securing kills.
Don't also like think about only late game, right? It's the entire game. Like early, I said, early game he's good because he can poke really easily with the Q. You can't miss it. The grenade launcher is there if you're in bad trouble or you getting someone weak from far away.
Okay.
Definitely not C. We're not going C. I think Ego and I agree. So we're choosing one of you there.
It might be. I might be naive. I don't know.
Might be corrupted here because I just saw something that just Cordy, you may have the vote. You may, and you should thank Deputy Dangle for pointing this out. Just because oh man, this is a fact that I can't argue with, and that is no one snowballs in the carry role as well as I think Murdoch does. He, with that auto lock, the pressure that he applies early in combination with the self peel. Okay. I was thinking more of like
okay, bro. Like, literally everything I just said. Literally everything I just said. Okay, bro.
I agree. I agree. But no, I'm thinking about it like in combination with other supports. Murdoch applies pressure better than most other carries do, and so I was like, I can't deny that fact, Cordy. It is true, and I just got flashbacks to every time I got a Decker ball plus the auto lock on coming out of.
You don't miss the Q. It's easy poke.
Okay, A tier. We put him A tier.
Okay.
Okay.
That was the most conscientious I've ever been in my life, dude.
Thank you,
Dude, I
Debbie
don't wanna
Dangle,
go
for
low.
having some thought in
I'm
chat.
gonna get flamed
my
on Saturday when I stream this.
Dude, you're cooked, bro.
Hey, everyone, play Murdoch and diff Wolfie.
Murdoch
That's
is
the worst
C tier,
part.
Wolfie.
Dude, I'm gonna be streaming. I'm gonna get killed by Murdoch, and someone's gonna C+, by the way.
Oh, no. He's cooked.
I don't know, man. No steroid, no getaway, no old. There's so many things.
There's no getaway, but there is a knockback, so they kind of makes up for it. You know, if you're diving in, that knockback's
I'll tell you this:
further.
his knockback can cancel ults, so that's probably what bumps it up.
Maybe
Hey,
that too.
I'll give you that.
All right, next up, Muriel, who is struggles early game, but when you get a mid to late game Muriel, she is kind of annoying to deal with. There is shield shredder items in the game now. But honestly, the few times that I've seen Muriel and seen the shield shredder, it didn't really seem that impactful. Like, not overwhelming, but not like, oh, she's immediately just terrible now. I think for Muriel, I'm gonna help around like the A tier, not B. I feel like she's early game. She's really bad. She gets out pressured by a lot of heroes, mainly like Mako or like damage supports. But when it comes to mid and late game, she's really annoying to deal with. And we have seen some Muriel's kind of hard carry some of these OPL games, but I'm thinking around like maybe A tier.
I am starting a petition for the next tier list in a couple months to have a B plus tier, because I would also put Muriel there. I do think
A is like your average, right? B is below average, A is average, A plus is like above the average, and then S tier is broken.
A for average, I would put Muriel. I would put Muriel there. I do not think you can ever at any stint, like just with what her kit does, having a support with a global ult that is also a knockup that also extends time to kill, can ever be really below average, even if you can shred a large degree of it with some of the items they added, quite literally specifically for this character. But not only to like talk about that, you also have a stun on her that's range in AoE, so you can catch multiples in it, as well as the fact that some of the shielding to extend the TTK or time to kill also gives a speed boost that can be used for disengage or engage on certain characters. I feel like her kit inherently does too much good stuff for her to be below average. So I think A is perfect.
Yeah. And like she does get a shine, of course, like, you know, Mako, we'll get to him eventually, but he is like the best support in the game. She does get outshined by him in the laning phase. When it comes to mid to late game team fights, that shield is just kind of nuts, man, and that global presence.
I'm afraid to talk now. I'd say with before the shield items, I would say A plus. I know that she was a very popular ban. Mind you, I'm only gold 1. Calm down, all you diamond players saying, all right, relax. But I don't know. She still carries games now, even with the shield break items in. But I do notice like it takes a longer for her to get on when you do build the shield break items. But I don't know. I don't play Muriel personally. I've never played her really. So
like I feel like
I'm
she's
still threatened by her by the end of the game. I'm afraid
like,
of what she's going to keep people alive.
Yeah, I feel like she's not B tier, where she's like not, you know, underwhelming. I don't think she's A plus because she does get bullied out pretty hard in lane. But I think comfortably, I feel like A, you know, kind of above average. You're picking her up when the other supports are gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Might be a crazy topic here because I personally hate this fucking character. Wukong. If Wukong is picked, you automatically have a 4v5 and everyone knows it. But when it comes to that 25 minute mark, he is the like almost like the best character in the game because what he can just single-handedly carry the game for you. I'm gonna say C tier because he's
okay.
I know. He's not A. It's B or C. Early game, he's useless. When it comes to late game, he is the most annoying character in the game. You have to like actually play around him.
I'm starting my own tier list tomorrow.
Okay. Before Wolfie goes in for his flea-ridden monkey, listen, I agree he is C tier. Okay, he's like okay. Listen, 40 minutes deep in your quick play game when everyone's tired and like nobody really is that invested into the game anymore. He's great. I'm gonna hop on your inhib. I'm gonna chop before you can get there, and in most cases, you're not gonna be able to stop me from getting out, and that brings a lot of quality. But any other level of the game,
OPL,
brother, this
never.
character is trash.
OPL,
like you even in high ranks, people are like they're okay. So who are we just putting on Wukong watch? if the counterplay to a character is looking at the map, you can't be higher than C. You cannot be higher than C tier if the counterplay to me playing against that character is looking at the top right corner of the screen and then just standing in front of a wave.
Yeah,
Like
you're definitely on the time limit with this character because he could just be feeding his brains out. But
that's what I mean. Is like for me, I would put him at least A.
no,
I'd say A. I'd say A. Yes. Listen. We need the views, so I'm hot taking. No, I'm not. I'm serious. For A, his laning phase, I'm starting to get to a point with Wukong where I'm actually starting to pressure people out of the other warriors out of the lane, unless it's like Kwang and Seraph. Other than that, I've been doing pretty well against Gruxes, so the laning phase, I'm not worried with Wukong. I'm okay. And never have I ever been afraid of a character past 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes over, I'm not afraid of a Muriel. I'm like, where's the Muriel? Everyone's hunting for the No one's doing that, right? Everyone's hunting for Wukong.
You can't see me, but I have my hand raised. But if your team is smart, if they're good, then they should be winning those 45s, taking those objectives. And by that time you get to that stage, like the 25-minute mark, you should be like really behind to where Wukong shouldn't really be a factor. But if it's even 45, if like your 45 is good, if your 4 is good compared to their 5, then Wukong is like more of a threat. So that's, I don't know.
Because like I know, when I was up against you with Wukong, you guys couldn't do Prime unless I was dead. And just that presence of you guys were beating my team in the team fights, but you wouldn't go to objectives unless I was dead, because if you spent the time for the objective, I'd get your inhib or I'd get your core. So like, but he does get countered by vision. Like if you just stick somebody to Wukong, he's diffed. I don't think he's C tier. I'd say B. I'd say B. If you want to, we're excluding the whole sit in the sky crap and fall down on the core. That's off the table, right? We're not going to put that in there, but I don't know, man. I think he's higher than C.
The resident Wukong main says himself C tier.
What?
I would
say C tier.
He hurts childhood dreams with Wukong.
It's insane. Okay. So here's also Wolfie, this is the deciding factor of why he is C tier, in my opinion. For you, he loses to a Discord group chat. If at any point, so for example, in your example you use at that game, it was just me and Cordy. But if I have those other 3 players in here and I can just go, Bellica, go sit at the inhib, you have fast clear so we can't dive it, or anyone with a form of CC for when you try to dive, God forbid I send the Cordy carry your general direction. Your game plan
by other people like Rev and Phase
turned off. Like if I can literally open up I hit enter and I go Wukong left and your game plan is done, the character's bad.
Man.
Again, like A tier is, these characters, they like he's very unique. Because your 4v5 has to be good so you can get to that stage of the game where you can do things, and you're never team fighting. These other characters, like an A tier, they bring something to the table, right? Like Gideon brings something, or Kwang brings something. I feel like he doesn't bring anything till the 25-30 minute mark where he can just
You've
run
convinced
around the
me. I'll take him out of S tier. I'll put him in A+.
All right,
you've convinced me.
So I think Ego and I agree on C tier. I think you said B, so we're outvoting you here.
B. We got the 2-1. That's fine. That's all right. Chat, rise up.
There's gonna be a long tier list. Okay, Phase. Definitely Pub Stomper. We actually had that experience today in ranked. Our randoms, our new players just could not handle it. Never is really picked in the. I don't think ever was picked in the OPO. High ranked. I don't think we're ever seeing her. I think she's on the same line as a Wukong.
Yeah, I agree.
She's like not terrible because she is viable. She does diff the new players in duo or something, but doesn't really provide anything else other than that. When it comes to late game, she's an under level support who just gets blown up by anybody. And if the team is good, they can deal with her.
Okay, Attack the Shokin coming. Fades is a bad mom because all she does is beat up kids. The character does not do anything with 100 hours plus in playtime. And I know somewhere I have Painflick like DMing me the 3-part thesis about why this character is viable.
Why are you throwing out names, bro?
I'm so they're an avid phase player. They do make it look good, but the ceiling for what phase brings to a game or lane or a team fight is so much lower. Like in the support role, I would rather have a Muriel, I would rather have a Narbash, I would rather have a Mako every time. In the mid lane, I'm looking at that little tumor down the list, almost anybody else in preference to this character. So I do think she's just a little bit of a pub stomper. She doesn't bring much in like real competitive. I don't think she brings much in ranked past like the
brand new
bottom 30% of the game. So I think C is where she should be.
Let's see. I feel like I have to agree. C. We're gonna say C. I don't know, but yeah, C tier is a good spot for her because she has no team fight, but she is a bully in the lane. But she's only a bully in the lane if you don't know how to fight her. So exactly, she's a good spot. Yeah.
All right. Next up we got is Aurora. Whoop, you take this away, man. What do you think about Aurora?
I hate this character. I hate this character. How do you go to Soul Lane and then you say you want to scrap? Like, I'm telling you, Soul Lane is where Soul Lane is where boys become men. You get a stick and you come over to Soul Lane, we hash it out. But when you backflip away from me and style on me, I hate you. You're F. Come to Soul Lane with some trauma issues and let's scrap, dude. I hate this character. She comes up to me, she rings, she backflips away, and then she creates the Trump wall for her minions. I hate her, dude. I can't stand it, dude. I hate this character. But like, it's sad because like in the OPL, what we see people do with her, it's hard for me to look you in the eye and say that she's bad when she like wipes the whole team with that ult. Like, it's crazy. I'd say it at A. I'll say A.
Okay. What about you?
I'll say A. I can't stand Aurora, dude. I hate that.
Daddy issues in your stick.
Bring a stick into daddy issues.
Nuts.
Let's figure it out. Let's find out.
Oh my god, bro! Listen, I need you to chill off with Elsa before the Frozen Kingdom, for the mouse sends the goons at you, bro. Okay. I do think she is A. Okay, So this is where it kind of becomes hard, and we are going to make like changes, I'm sure, at the later stages of this.
Yeah. But
I have an argument that this character could potentially be A+. Okay. I do. A is average. A is average. I do think the combination of her ult as well as her anti-siege could feasibly help to make an argument that the character Aurora brings a lot of presence, which is important, but also great AoE lockdown CC with a ton of ways to get in and do it, with access also to a ton of karmas that either enhance the effect or shut off the counterplay to it. We all played with Blink, Silence, Aurora. We know how devastating that can be in a Prime Pit fight, in a Spirit fight, in a rotation, catching somebody out. And that's not also to catch the fact that her 2 does damage, also enhances her next auto attack, but also is a root. She has a billion ways to keep people out of the fight or make the fight better for her team if they're committing to it. And I think it kind of falls in line with what makes Adele good, but on another point of it. Adele was so prominent for so long because she was able to make fights and team fights really good with her ult and just sustain through it. Aurora does that, except she sustains to a lesser degree, but has another 4 options on how she wants to leave. So I think there's an argument to be made that she's an above average A+ character.
I can agree with both A+, A. We haven't seen a lot of Auroras. Like, I don't think I've seen a lot of Auroras in ranked. Even like in the OPL, we see very few Auroras when she was so dominant. I think just because the Warriors are so good in that lane now as well. And then with them being picked up. So for now, I'll leave her at A, and then again, we'll go back and just kind of adjust if we need to.
Okay.
Next up, Howitzer. He's a really good mid laner, does a lot of damage. Ultimate is really easy to get out of, but when you're doing a team fight around objectives, it becomes more impactful. The knockback is pretty nice to peel for yourself, but the burst damage he provides is pretty nuts. I think he's kind of on. I don't think he's like A+. I don't think he's underwhelming as B. I think he's going to be A tier for me.
I'd say A2. I wish the R&B would do a little bit more than it doesn't do like a slow or something, like some kind of debuff of where it enhances. Yeah, the right click is slow. I'd say A is fair. He's got his ult is good in the Prime Pit and the Spirit Pit, but outside of that, I don't know. I'm not afraid of it. I'll just walk away. It's one of those things that he's up in the air, everyone's spread out for 5 seconds.
Hot take. I think Howler's A+. I do. I've seen some play of him recently. He has the second longest range ability in the game for damage procs out secondary to Wraith. It does a lot of damage. He has CC displacement on him and his knockback mines. He also has a good ult that does create good space, can help burst down objectives. It can completely take away the option of occupying space around objectives. So if you want to sit on your stairs and this prime is getting bursted down, he can drop it and guarantee damage on a rotation in. But on top of that, it's also a really good counter. We've seen Howitzer be a direct counter pick to Gideon. We've seen Howitzer be a part of a counter pick to Adele while she was very prominent. And, I do think that those qualities in combination with the CC do merit him, especially as the game sits now, possibly being an A+.
I could kind of agree. I guess I'm on the fence of either one. The damage he provides and the team fight, if it's not objective fight, Gideon's ult seems better, right? Because he can, keep people locked in. He is in a bad spot when he does it. With Howitzer, you really just kind of walk out. It's a zoning ult, but the damage he does provide is kind of nuts. So I'm on the fence either one. I can agree with A+ though, especially if we were going maybe a mirror match. Howitzer kind of just does more than Gideon when it comes to ultimates.
Yeah, it's a good counter pick into a couple of them. So and also technically, now that I think about it, could also be used as a disengage. So I'd feel comfortable putting them at A+.
Yeah, we could do that. Sebrog, Sebi boy, recently buffed. More stacks.
Ooh, I'm taking this one. Listen to me right here. The S for Sebrog stands for souls, stacks, and S+, bro.
Okay, let's take it away back from him. He's not getting leads anymore.
He's literally muted, and it's correct. The podcast credibility.
No, I'm too much of a fan, man. I'm too much of a fan. I know. Sev, solo lane, B tier. Jungle is where he gets put up into A. But you have to be I don't know. When I play Sevrog, I just harness. I'm Fat Conte. Let's see what I can do if I can make Sevrog work. And I just try to channel it. It never works out, but I don't know. I think if he is an A, it's because he's in the jungle. But B tier, his laning phase is the souls don't mean anything. It's too slow.
Yeah, I'm fine with A tier. We're not seeing him picked up a lot in ranked. He's never banned in ranked. Even in the LPL, he's other characters are being prioed over him. And like you said, Conte's name, the clear is not that amazing. And like you said, Conte, brings him out, but it's one of the very few people who's really good at the game and plays that character a lot to make him shine. So I'm comfortable with A as well.
Yep, I agree. A for the list is average, right? A is this is a character that can be good if you play them properly and can contribute to the team. And I think the way that what's the name of the people with the stick? Not the solo laner Wolfie who during music and orchestrator amused during bands pointed Harry Potter and they're the ones that get instruments to go. Those guys, I compare Sephiroth a lot to that. He has what you want in someone who can either dive the backline or be your engager for you. He has displacement for the other team. He has a way to CC lock people down. He has pretty good sustain on himself. His one is going to be on a very low cooldown, so he's going to be able to disperse damage if that's what he's going to be focusing on doing. And more importantly, he has no cap to the scaling that he's going to be able to provide. So I do think in long games, Sephiroth just becomes infinitely great if he's in good hands. And I do even think in mid-length games, if he does get tanked, he gets 2-3 items online. I feel a lot of people discredit what kind of makes Grux good, and that is putting people where they don't want to be with his pull on a displacement. Being able to displace people in team fights is one of the things that makes a character really good. So I agree, with A tier, he does it well, but he doesn't do it as well as per se Grux.
Yeah.
So we're good with A?
Yeah.
Hey. All right, Rampage, another tank. Again, tanks have fallen off. They've fallen off in the meta, really. Warriors are so dominant. We're never seeing a Rampage being banned. We're probably seeing a Rampage being picked up because all the Warriors are being banned and they're being picked early. So for me, I think Rampage is probably going to be in that A tier. He's not underwhelming in B tier. He still provides. He's a frontliner. He has a rock. He's still, he has decent clear in the solo. And if you do play him in the jungle because everyone's banned, His clear isn't terrible. I think for me, I think A tier is kind of comfortable. What do you guys think?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. Are you like guys ever afraid of a rampage at like early game or mid game? I'm only afraid of him end game because he just won't die.
I think that it's actually that. I think that his role isn't to be afraid of; it's to be like a nuisance, annoying.
Yeah.
And I'd make the argument that he is A tier. I do think that tanks were in a little bit of a tougher spot before some of the additions of some of the new items. I think Shockwave Generator exponentially makes this character better. You go in, you beat people up, you gain some extra HP, you cause chaos on the back line. Your stun is instantaneous, and you're going to be able to hit a point blank on people to draw them out of their abilities or cause them to be out of position if the team is looking for a retreat and you can lock somebody down. So yeah, I think he's like, if someone came to this game and like, can you provide me with the fundamental just like tanky character that, you know, I'm not having to stack for, right? I'm not having to like do a bunch of bells and whistles to kind of play around. I'd probably throw them Rampage. And with some of the items, I think generally A tier is a good place for them to be in.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
All right, sorry, boys. I had to step away for a little bit.
No problem.
So we're in agreement on A?
Yeah, we're in agree.
Okay. Crunch.
S.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
okay, that's where I was going.
band.
I was going like, because people in chat are getting on, they're like freaking out that we're putting everyone in A tier. No one's in S tier. Crunch is always banned and ranked. First pick all the time. OPL is banned picked. His clear is amazing. He has great dash around the map. He has great CCs. He uses items really well. Like, he just has so much. I think out of all the warriors, he is the only S tier in my opinion.
Yeah, he's good at every stage of the game too. Early, you can't box him level 1. So few people can. Like I'd say, like your closest is like Seraph and Kwang. Mid phase, he's crazy once he gets the ult online. When he's in the jungle, the movement he has on the map to clear the whole side of a camp and then get to you in the mid lane or wherever you need his help is so much faster than most jungles. That's why he's perma-banned. Yeah.
I like, okay, so I think the argument to be made that Crunch could potentially be considered better than Seraph is simply his ability to be more mobile than Seraph on a lower cooldown, in combination with the fact that he also, unlike Seraph, who doesn't have any CC, Crunch can chain CCs. Yeah. Crunch is very good in duels. He's very good at engaging for teams, and he's very good for locking down prio targets. And this is not conjecture. This is not me being like, I have Crunch mastered. Yeah, this is the numbers and the facts of how this character has performed in tournament settings versus ban, pick rate, and wood rate. He does so well at locking down somebody, engaging onto a fight, catching multiple stuns, and not only to mention the fact that also if you do enhance his one, he's also able to shred people's protections from them. There is nothing that you want a warrior to do that he doesn't do. Like, it's, you know, comparatively to like Seraph or, some other characters, he does have a large hitbox, but he also scales extremely well with health. And if we're just looking at the numbers and the performance, and, I'll say in the like OPL specifically, this character has literally just been amazing. Most times he's been locked in, and in a majority of times he's been locked in has been the reason other teams have gotten an early lead and just snowballed out. Yeah. And
then when we're going to the rank part, like he's always banned, right? Every now and then you'll get Seraph because Grux and Crunch are banned. So you do like a little throwaway pick and to hopefully get, either Seraph or some other high value pick. But he's I don't think I've ever seen him in ranked, like since we've been playing. I don't think I've seen rank Crunch yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's S tier. Yeah, it's perma-banned. That's the only way.
All right, next up, Fang Mao, dude. Another person on the warrior list where when the other characters are gone, he steps up. He's playable, not as great as the other three. So for me, I'm putting him in A tier.
What about you, Ego? I'm curious.
I agree. It sucks because I grinded my way almost to diamond on the back of this character. Like, He was my most played character for a very long time. But keep in mind, this is like during the pendant meta. We try to forget the pendant meta. But there's a lot of value that he can bring to like, picks and stuff. He does have a spell shield. So like, for example, Murdoch self-peel isn't as great on him. He does have good mobility. The timer isn't too egregious on it. He has an execute. I think he would be in a better spot ultimately if his execute was based off of percentage of HP. Please, Jon Snow, I know you're in here. Please make it based off of percentage of XP instead of like a certain threshold for it. But he's exactly where he should be. He's a solid character, and the reason he's gone up in prominence, like in play, is because some of these other characters are banned out. Crunch is banned, Sereth is banned, Grux is banned, and with the options for junglers and what they bring to fights, which is currently engaged in some degree of tankiness, he's a good option of what is left in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
I don't. For me, Feng Mao, it's really just his ult that gets to me because it's so useless. Why ult? Why go through a whole animation of all that when you could just smack them one more time and they're dead? Him in lane he's a pain in the ass with his teleport and his E. It's like, how do you punish that? You can't stun him. The teleport he's out of the existence, and then he just shows up and you're damaged. His spell shield has a lot of outplay potential. I love that about him. I think that's what kind of helps him. A good Fang Mao with a good spell shield placement is a threat. But to me, that ultimate it needs to be percentage health based or something. Like it can't just be 300 health or less and then it pop. It can't. It has to be something more. But I don't know. I would argue like B or A, somewhere between there. Yeah, maybe a B plus. I'd say.
Yeah, if we had a B plus, again, A is like kind of average, B is below that average, C is they're not unplayable. They just don't bring a lot to the team. There's certain situations where they're impactful. F is just like just the worst character in the game, pretty much. I think there's only like one character that I could think of that is down there.
There's somebody getting it.
Yeah, somebody's getting there. He's getting close. So next up,
you go and hold it.
Next up, we got Belica. Belica, it's crazy because Belica used to be like top pick all the time.
Oh yeah,
and she's kind of fallen off. I don't think they made any changes to her. It's just maybe people kind of got out of that meta of like Belica, but she provides great CC in combination with the jungler. Her damage is insane. Her ultimate is better now than it used to be. But I think Belica, not A plus, but probably in this A tier, even with Gideon and maybe some of these other. I think I would like a Belica over a Faye. And that's again, combining CCs. What do you guys think about Belica?
You take it, Ego. I'm not sure.
So like as to the point of like she kind of fell off out of nowhere, I think what killed Belica, or not necessarily killed Belica, because she's still very much always a good character, right? I think the issue with her is that the release of Adele kind of killed the character, especially at a competitive level, because we instantly saw people pivot to things that synergize very heavily with that Adele ult previously. So we saw people get off Belica, and all of a sudden, Gideon is getting run in every game because you can drop those thorns on top and bottom side here with the Gideon in combination, and you're just able to just melt people, and it becomes so much more safe, especially since she had an engager on it. I do think, them limiting her range a little bit did affect it, but I never think true damage is ever bad. So I think she is comfortably A tier, and some people may may think it's the boring pick, but I mean it is what it is for her. She doesn't have the best range. Her damage is solid, but by no means is it like excelling over the top of like the Howie D&D, especially since that's one ability on howitzers but you have to do a combination of them on Belica. She does have the potential to pop you if you let that mana get too low, but I do agree that A tier is where she should be at.
Yeah, I don't play too much Belica. And when I do, she's just single target damage, and usually she's got to put herself out of position to get that combo. The stun doesn't really reach too far. I don't want to put her in A tier because I'm tired of putting people in A tier, but at the same time, you're right. Like, I'm more afraid of a Gideon because he has team fight. She doesn't. She's single target, right? Yeah, A's a good spot.
There's really nothing wrong with like having a bigger A tier. A tier is average. That's how you want your MOBAs to be. MOBAs are going to be heavy.
That's the goal.
Yeah, you want them to be average. The characters above them are definitely always picked and banned. Belica's never really picked or banned. Never banned, sorry. She is picked if there's other characters, and again, it's more of like team synergy. You know, if I have someone like a Rampage coming in through the jungle and getting a rock, I can easily knock up and we combo delete somebody. But yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
Not like, even looking at Faye, like I like Faye personally, but I think, you know, just Bellic is not overly whelming and not underwhelming. She's there.
Yeah.
Someone who's underwhelming, Countess. Is she F or C tier? Not B. I think. I feel like Countess is worse than she be.
I would say C, just because when it gets to endgame, she's a force of nature.
Yeah.
Like, that endgame is scary. She's one of those characters you have to focus down at the endgame. The laning phase is terrible. The jungle for her is terrible.
It's undoable in jungle. Like
it is undoable, but I wouldn't say
possible.
And then in mid lane, you get poked out pretty easily. You don't have a good escape.
F is for people who aren't threats. Countess turns into a threat eventually.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. I think you said exactly right, Wolfie. F is for people who are never threats. At some point, Countess is a threat, right? But she just struggles to get there. She struggles to stay alive, and you know, this is the major assassin problem, right? She struggles with cooldowns, right? I dump my kid on you, you're not dead. I'm literally doing the SpongeBob meme, like it's insane. I think C tier is where she wants to be. If you do get to that 30-minute mark, you're normally going to be like impactful. You're normally going to be able to pop people. But even then, you know, if people are like just grouping up and snowballing and your engager is the one to send it first, a solid stun in response to a teleport on a high prio target means that you are done on Countess. So I think C tier is perfect.
And like comparing the other mage assassin, right? Shimby is definitely safer. She's not stationary where she ults. She can poke people and then ult and like kind of dash away or something like that. Countess is kind of an all-in character in late game. She does a lot of damage, but can be like CC'd, and at that point, if you're CC'd and you're getting collapsed on, you can't really get out. But
I'd actually like to see a dash reset on a kill with her. I mean, if her whole thing is to go in and kill somebody, if she kills somebody, you could give her another teleport to a different target. But
instead of like dashing, because you can dash back to where you originally.
Because I'd like to see a little bit more skill play with her. When it gets to endgame, you just sit in the bush and wait for your food to get there. If you could go in and dive people and like use you get a kill and then you teleport to another person, be a little bit more mobile. But then, you know, the cooldowns, even then, I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit something with her. Not just a damage buff or anything. She doesn't need that. She needs like something to help her laning phase.
All right, next up, Mako, who I don't know if it's a shocker to people, but I think is obviously the best support. I think S tier. We don't see Mako banned a lot, but I think it's because in ranked, people aren't really prioritizing supports. But in the most recent tournament, 100% pick ban rate, and like just overall the best support in the game. Healing, great range poke, so good lane dominance. Ultimate is amazing. Is safe with that leap. I think Mako is for me S tier. What do you guys think?
I'd say A+.
I'd put him in A+ just because, like, I'd put him like, you know, I'd definitely put him in A+ just because he is a lot of the time in the support we do see him get taken mid. The healing is great. The ult can be really good. He has some good displacement, and he also has good ways to peel for himself to get out of these fights if he doesn't want to be in them. He has, you know, quintessentially everything that you're looking for out of a support, and with the adding of, you know, those items like Victorious Steps in combination with like Broken Watch, he's able to offer more than what his kit normally would, right? I drop a Broken Watch, you know, proc into someone next to me. I'm also catching some of that healing now, right? I just think the character can do so much, and one of the things that also I think you touched on that, you know, I would like to expand on is his poke is really good. We've just seen poke win games before. We've seen poke win tournaments, like period. So overall, I do think he kind of deserves that A+ spot. He's definitively like I'd put him as a top 10 character every day of the week.
Yeah, Mako's the healing, especially with the healing items that they've given us now, it's even better for him. I'm one of those weird Makos who doesn't run nanos first. I usually go Broken Watch to compensate for the healing, and then after that I'll get Unfair Trade. But have you ever fought Mako on the solo lane? It's worse than fighting Aurora. You can't lock him down. You can't keep him anywhere. He's too mobile. He's got a knockback. He's gonna poke you, and then his I've seen Mako's game-changing ults where they'll jump behind the enemy team, ult the enemy team to his team while his team goes into the healing, and it's a complete game changer. So yeah, A+ is perfect.
Yeah.
Like he does so much though, and like
So I would say I am comfortable putting him in S. However, S for me on like rating things is for you click this character, they can like carry or put your team in a position to carry the game by themselves.
and maybe like OPL standards, if it's like we're talking like high, tournaments, he's S tier. Like the more like ranked and casual play, he's not hard carrying you the game. I can see that. I can see that.
Like I'm not gonna dodge a game if Mako's picked though. But
Yeah.
I will be afraid of him throughout.
Yeah,
the
they're
game.
dodging games, bro.
No,
dude, that's nuts, bro.
No, I'm not allowed
That's
to.
insane.
I'm not allowed to. My internet cuts out.
My
great
internet
times.
cuts out. So I would say like if you're just like okay, so I would like to say it with this, right? If you are rating like in a nutshell, like where is this character rated among supports S tier? Like he's the best support. Like if you are rating like among supports, Mako is an S tier character who just goes insane. If you S tier, as I am rating it, as like we are generally rating, is this character can just carry the game by themselves.
Yeah.
Mako doesn't have as much capability to do that. And this isn't just, conjecture on it. The support role, you're going to be a little bit more behind, and what you're going to be able to do isn't as impactful as per se a jungler as a carry. And despite all that, the presence of what Mako provides to a team makes him, despite that, still a like top pick character.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I can agree with that. So next up we get Xena. I think she's good. I think she's definitely overshadowed by the top picks and then the Warriors and things like that. Does insane damage, clears amazing. We don't see a lot of Xena, but for me, it'll probably be like around the A+. Definitely not B tier. She is viable. She can do things. She can. We had it today where the Xena was kind of just hard carrying a game. Shout out to Vet. Just kind of dominating and controlling the game. So for me, minimum is going to be A for Xena.
Yeah, it's a safe pick. I don't play too much Xena. I just know that ult is just a pain in the ass, and especially with this new wolf item or the Witcher hunt item, it works so well with her. If you've seen twitch.tv/Cordy, he does dashing through the snow and they're in him, procking the wolf item like crazy. I'd say A's a good spot.
Any thoughts?
It's kind of, for me, Xena's kind of A tier in the way of like what remains, right? I do think that Crutch is always going to be banned out. Seraph is most of the time going to be banned out. Grux is also majority of the time going to be banned out. So like if those three aren't available, Xena's not a terrible pick. It does kind of change the play style, as we can see that in those higher ranked characters, like in A+ and S tier, they're also engagers and they're tanks, and they're able to like sustain and cause some degree of disruption. Xena does that, but she doesn't sustain nearly as much, but she also has more ability on the condition that she picks up kills, while those other three characters just have more mobility, period. But with that in mind, I do think A is a pretty comfortable spot for her.
Okay. And then the next person up, I'm going to say right now, I think S tier. What do you guys
S tier? Dude,
yeah.
He's up there.
He might be better than Crunch.
If he is S, put Murdoch in C right now.
He might be better than Crunch. Okay.
He might be better than Crunch. Like,
he's S plus broken. Okay, ego. Our Whoopi is not on the. He doesn't understand that we're joking. This character is fucking ass.
You're influencing the wrong people.
Some Iggy made just watch that.
Walking gold buff. If you need 100 gold to buy an item, find an Iggy and go get your reward, bro. It's oh my god, trash can.
Character is terrible. Which does also suck to a degree. I will say, I would like to say when Iggy was a good character, it was hellish. I played the game less than I ever did. When he was just almost soloing objectives. She walked in a bush and he like 3-second TTK'd. I'm like, brother, please. This character, I want them to please keep in the trash can because when they are good, they're so frustrating and annoying to play against. But when they are in their current state as they are now, I'll be honest, they're just the worst character in the game. This character is a dumpster fire. If the like dumpster was like full of like feces and like just the worst types of things, he's a step away from being unplayable. I do think he is the only character in the game who's just deserving of this F tier rank. Like, you should never play this character.
Every time I see an Iggy with like, I've been seeing some Iggy's with some mastery skins, and every time I see the mastery skin on Iggy, I just say mental health. Please seek therapy for your issues. You're struggling to go through, get the mastery for this character. I think the reason why people play Iggy is because for that one moment where they had 3 turrets in a bush, and the enemy team walked into that bush and they wiped 2-3 people because their ult was there, the turrets were there. I think that's what fuels them till the next time they could do it 100 games from when it happens. I don't know why people play this character. And honestly, the scariest part is I hate that I get diffed by this character sometimes. So
it is tough in the solo lane because you're melee. No, it's annoying, right? Because you can't clear the melee that well. And then you're constantly taking poke. It's understandable. But like whenever you like rotate the team fights, having the tanky character is just so much better than an Iggy. Iggy gets stomped by any mid laner. He does the turrets don't take a. You can kill the turrets pretty quickly, and he has some mobility in mid. You have to go pretty much like double blink. He's just not the best for characters. All right.
That feels so liberating. That felt great for me.
Keep him there. Jon Snow, if you're in here, keep him on the F tier list. I don't need him in solo hurting my dreams anymore.
True. All right, guys. Next up, we got Steel. Mainly played in solo lane. We've seen every now and then we'll see supports, but that's kind of like rank. I think OPL he's going to be playing in the solo lane. Not a terrible character. Has great dive. Getting great displacements. Shield is amazing if you can get a good shield. Not A+ in my opinion. I think he's definitely can bring more to the table than like a Wraith or a Kalari and things like that. For me, it's going to be another A tier. What do you guys think?
What about you, Igor? What do you think?
Can I keep it $1 here? Can I keep it $1? Okay, fuck, the hot takes are insane.
Another hot take?
Dude, yeah, it's nuts. In my opinion, Steel is the best engager in the game. I'm sorry, I don't know how to put it otherwise.
That's not a hot take at all. He is an amazing engager.
And because of that, listen. Let me cook for 20 seconds.
Okay.
Is Steel possibly A+? Possibly S. Okay. There is no character who can completely deny. So his 2 is the ability to completely deny ranged poke, right? And a lot of these characters we place where they're placed because their ranged poke is so good. In combination with that, he has the best engaging ult and also another way to follow it up with a knockup that also provides him with more sustain, on top of the fact that his right click is also a slow with solid magical scaling and really good base number.
I don't know about S tier. I'm fine with A+. I think all those points are really great. He's a great diver for sure. S tier, we're never banning Steel. Maybe OPL if someone pops
He's never getting banned. He's never getting banned. So I'd say A+, but he is a character that is so valuable that we saw him get picked up in the jungle a lot. We see him get played solo. We saw people drag with the support just to have him. And he's a character that when he is level 6, it doesn't matter if everyone else is level 11, 12. He is still good and able to do what he wants to do, even if he is insanely behind. I'm going to ult you, I'm going to run through you, and then I'm going to put up a wall so your trades are going to be worse. Steel is like a go to me. If we were like ranking it side, I think in the A+ tier, I think Steel is in like the top 4 A+, for sure. I think he's insanely good.
What about you?
I'd say A+ because on top of ego is right. I had a game today where today my goal was to just try the meta stuff. So I was playing Steel because he isn't in the meta, and I brought Demo and Silent, and I was 3 levels down at one point. They were 13. I was level 11. They were winning the team fight. All we needed to do was just let them bring the reindeer down enough so that we could get the smite off because the jungles were equal level. And literally 2 levels down, there I am. Crunch is on my case because he knows what I'm going to try and do to him. It gets to like 1,000 health. I ult him. I press Q. I turn around and I go over and I silence him.
Mhm.
And I like shut him down for like 6-7 seconds.
Yeah.
There was nothing he could do. And then my jungle gets the smite off. We get it. So like, I think he's A+ tier because of silence and demo. That is crazy for Steel. If silence wasn't so potent and demo wasn't so potent, maybe you could bring him down. Because like in the laning, I don't know about you, for me, he's so boring. I don't like the way he plays. Like you go to the back wave, you press R&B, and then you Q through the wave to get pressure. That's all you do.
I feel like when you're in the solo lane and Steel laning phase, you're like never really a threat to dying. As like against a solo laner, I don't play a lot of solo, but just from what I've seen, you're not really like 1v1ing, and if you do, then that person might have made an outplay. But I think I agree. I think he's all the points you guys talk about. I think he's really, really great. I don't think he's S tier. I think he's either A+ or A, and I'm comfortable with putting him in A+.
Wolfie. Okay, listen. I know. So far we have had S be like, this character can just win a game by themselves.
No way! You're trying to convince this guy.
No, I don't. Okay. I don't think that Steel can just win a game by himself, but I think Steel, by being in the game, makes every single team fight so much better that your chances go up exponentially. And I'm gonna actually take back something I said earlier. There is no one in the game, in my opinion, outside of Steel. I know I said Aurora before. I am changing it to Steel, who applies demoralization and silence as efficiently and easily as Steel does. Yeah. He drops you, he can silence you, he can demo you, and then he can follow that up with CC or turn off your carry by putting up a well-placed shield. Like I don't like Wolfie, is that possibly S tier or is it A+? I'd
say it'd be S tier if he could be in the jungle. If he could do it, like when I see Steals in the jungle, like I'm not worried they're gonna kill me. I'm worried about when it comes to team fights. I'm not worried about a Steel gonna kill me when he comes out of the jungle. If he kills me, it's not because of his damage, like crunches. It's because of the person damaging with him that kills me. And the CC is just a pain in the ass, right? I don't know. I'd say A+ is a good spot for him.
Okay.
I'm not budging from A+.
That's insane, Corey.
I'm not. He's good, but I'm not budging, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got the Narby. Narby's great. Great stun. Heal is great. Now you don't get like knocked out of if you get CC'd or anything like that. Or if you get, I forgot what it was, but they changed it to where your heal keeps going or your move speed keeps going or something like that. Ultimate still get CC'd out your ultimate, but Narbash is more of like, if the enemy team has Mako, then I go Narbash, so I can help with the poke. He's not on the Mako level for me. He's like on kind of par with Muriel, where he's he's a decent support, but not Mako level support. So for me, I'm kind of going A for Mako.
Okay, thoughts? So Wolfie, please go first.
Are you cooking again?
Oh, it's tricky. It's tricky because like he's not healing you through team fights, right? His healing's not good enough to just like, hey, ADC, I'll heal you through 900 crits. It doesn't work that way. But the laning phase is great for the poke. I agree. That is what you need. If they have poke, if they have a damage support, you want a Narbash or a Mako, but I'd rather Mako. His ultimate is useless. Even with Star's Grace, like, it's still hit or miss. I think he can still get stunned even if he has Star's Grace, right? It's only 2 seconds. His ult takes like a 5-second charge up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can still stun him out of it. So his ult, I don't find it, but the steroid he applies with his Q, I think is what is like a real sleeper. When you let your ADC and the movement speed, the ADC shooting is so much faster just because the Q is probably what wins them the box. And people don't really see it. They're like, oh, it's because I healed him and I stunned him. And I was like, you also made your ADC shoot mock Jesus at whatever ADC was there.
Also, like the support items as well that are in the game, right? Like Unfair Trade recently got buffed,
with the new items
introduced.
Yeah. So okay. I'm comfortable with A.
Okay, so you guys I'm going to keep it $1. I'm going to keep it $1.50 here with you. I was really about to pitch that he's B. I was really about to go in. I was going to do it. I was going to be like, you know what Muriel and Mako have that he doesn't in ult because they don't get hit with the mouthwash and told to shut up every time they try to use it. But like, I do. And like, you know, Muriel, at least her stuff is global. You're not beating your drums in like duo lane while I'm getting diffed in solo. You're doing nothing for me. But okay, but I do like that point is so solid that I can't deny it. That's that the movement speed that he can provide for rotations is invaluable in a lot of like compositions, especially if you're looking to make fast rotations while also receiving healings. And the combination with Victoria's Footsteps as well of just being able to group apply a heal that also gives like enhanced speed and then also being able to speed up after that, you know, it's super good. You're right. I was going to make the pitch for B tier, but I do think he, with
It's
that
that
in
old.
mind, deserves A. But he literally, he's the only support in the game who only who doesn't have an ult. Like it never goes off.
He's just like banging his drums, and somebody just gets a bar of soap and puts it in his mouth. It's like, shut up, dude. What are you
It's insane. It's insane. Like
never have I ever like you ever see like those memes where like someone does someone and everybody's eyes turn red and they look at somebody. When Narbash bangs those drums, every CC is going towards him.
And the thing is, it's also CC that can come just like from one of the supports. Mako throws his this place. Muriel hits him with the stun, and they both look at him and say, and they just go, "Shut up! The real supports are talking," and it's insane.
A Gideon pull, a Murdoch knockback, a rock, like any kind of CC just negates this. Yeah.
The Muriel stun is disrespectful.
Yeah, someone said it best in the comments. It's like his ult is a CC magnet. You know, those drums start and it's just shut up, just instantly. And it's so easy to turn off because his hitbox is so big. So yeah, but the movement speed he does provide, I do feel like merits something like at least ranked average. You can take this character, you're not like throwing for your team.
And then like
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Corey, go. No, you go.
I say laning phase, he's pretty good too, right? Like I don't mind Narbash, right? The heal, the stun to help follow up with any kind of like extra damage. Like he does provide a lot. If there's a Mako on the enemy team, Narbash has to take the back step. If they have a Muriel, it's like a Muriel and Narbash matchup. I'm kind of more favor for that laning phase or the Narbash, just because that heal keep them stopped up, and then the stun to help set up abilities. But
I'm thinking maybe you put a spell shield on his ult and he'll be much better. Then you put that in combination with Star's Grace.
I can't have them just throwing around spell shields like that. Like I'm okay with them not just tossing those around for everything. Mal can have it and Gideon can have it. Everyone else buy Blue Heart and shut up. Just
I feel terrible. Like you see a Narbash and he pops his drums and all the CC hits him and it's like, hey guys, I'm participating. I'm gonna stun the whole team. It's like, go back to your corner, little Timmy.
literally a Narbash starts ulting and I'm like, shut up before I call Fiona. Okay. Like, listen, hold off before I get Donkey back over here. It's yeah.
I do think Shadow Legends.
All right. Next up we have is Rev. Rev is tricky. So me personally, I think Rev is I don't like Rev. It takes a while to ramp up, but when he does ramp up, he's insane. His damage is kind of nuts. It's kind of tricky. I'm on the verge of like A, even B tier for Rev.
I'm biased though. I really do like Rev. I like that he's the 1v1 ADC you can't fight. You can't fight him by himself. And his ult, I like his ult outplay where he takes the jungle into the sex room and you can't do anything. But I don't know. As far as ADCs, like Sparrow is just infinitely better than Rev, I think.
Like his clear is really, really bad. It takes a while for him to get, like his item choice that you build on is expensive as well. Like you have to get these big expensive items to kind of like beat that factor. And like when you hit 4 items, then you're really kind of, you know, being looked at as an ADC. Before that, I really don't feel that impact as Rev. And these other characters like Sparrow can just clear so well. Yen is down on the list. She can clear so well compared to Rev and just constantly. So for me, it's A, maybe, and honestly B. I think he's, for me personally, probably like one of my least favorite hunters.
Yeah.
Can I succeed from this? Can I like? What? Can I not vote for Revenant? Because like I'll like be like honest. I don't know. This character used to run the
Yeah.
OPL for a
Yeah.
couple months, and then he like just disappeared like a genie. And I don't know if that's indicative of there's just better options, or he himself now is bad, right? Because according to tier lists, just because there are better options doesn't necessarily mean that you are a terrible one. There's just other flavors that are more impactful than you. And I don't know if a character who can literally rip a carry off of an objective, rip a jungler off of an objective, can ever be categorically considered bad, right? Like you're just like, oh, prime fight, no smite for your side, get it, crunch, and and that's kind of what did make him prominent for a long time and what we saw at the higher levels. But I'm not aware of the character enough. I maybe not seeing him very much in ranked in the OPL in quick plays even is indicative that he is a B tier character. So like
also like as hunters or sorry rangers, they just inherently are really good at the game. Like so, no matter what stage you are, I guess whenever you get to late game, you're always going to be doing a lot of damage. I'm fine with A. Like I'm on the verge of A, like maybe bottom A, but whatever. I'm fine with putting him
maybe
in A.
That's a B plus character, maybe.
Yeah. Oh,
sure. Yeah. Let's yeah. Okay. You guys have to
think of the one shot clips, dude. The fun factor when you one tap somebody, there's no dopamine rush.
It just takes so long to get to him though, like to get that going. When you're like in this game, those early team fights are kind of impactful.
They're so crucial.
He just doesn't seem to do a lot with the 4 auto attacks that he can provide with that reload.
Yeah, I am biased for sure. I like, especially with this hunter instinct item. When I run at somebody and then the hunter instinct, I'm like, oh, here's more dick, and then you just one tap somebody. I love that. So I'm definitely biased.
All right.
Yeah.
So are we in agreement at A?
Yeah.
Okay. Chimera. I don't know. Maybe a shocker. You guys might have him a little bit lower, but I think Chimera is not that terrible if built properly. He's an old bot when it comes to like mid late game. He just kind of goes in, ult somebody, takes a lot of damage. He has no escape. He's all in. If built correctly, if you build him like hybrid or maybe the more side of the tanky, if you go squishy, you're just insta deleted.
What do you think you go?
I'm putting. I'd put Chimera in B tier personally.
B? Okay.
There's so many better options than Chimera for everything. You're like, okay, I didn't get Crunch, so I didn't get Grux, and I didn't get Seraph. Oh, I'm sad. Well, I couldn't get Feng Mao. Okay, well, I didn't get, Xena. I guess I'm playing Chimera. We're 8 characters deep at this point. Also, I do think, this is a little bit more personal opinion, as well as saying actually what has happened at the higher level, is that characters without mobility, like if you don't have an option to leave, you get thrashed a lot of the time. Like you commit, you overextend, and if you don't, you get starved for your farm. So I'd rank Chimera kind of as a B tier character.
I'd say if you build Marauders Watch on him first, you're F. 100%. But I'd say B tier. And because of that lack of mobility, I have to bring Blink with my Chimera, and usually that ends up to me overextending or diving a tower for a kill. So that's my personal experience. But if they maybe you make his jump wherever he's looking, like Greystone, instead of just locking on the targets. But I'd say B tier is a good spot for him.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Because I'm borderline A, B, or B. Definitely, if you guys are playing a Chimera, build him more hybrid or more tanky side. Don't go like 4 items deep of straight damage, because when it comes to late game, you're not going to compete with ADCs and casters. You kind of just get blown up.
Yeah.
Speaking of casters, we got Gadget, who I think is really good. Not A+ material, but her team fights is amazing. If we talk about Gideon ults and Howitzer ult, I think Gadget ult is just better. It's instant. It slows. It does a lot of damage, and I think she's really good. The thing that kind of brings her down from A+ for me is she has 2 abilities that aren't really damage impactful. The Q does a lot, but it takes a while to detonate. It can get blocked somehow. She has a speed gate that doesn't really do a lot, and then the right click, the drone, doesn't really do a lot in team fights. But ultimate wise, it can be pretty impactful if you get a really good ult. I think I think I've experienced it in, I don't know if you're with me in ranked, but it was an even game. The gadget wasn't doing anything. Their gadget wasn't doing anything impactful. We had really bad positioning in the pit. Gadget dropped an ult and like we just got wiped.
Yeah.
So I think minimum for me is A. I don't think she can be A+, but what do you guys think?
I think if you take away some of that slow on the ultimate, she probably would be worse. That slow is crazy. It's like 50%, I think, on final point in or something, or 60, somewhere up there. It's close to demo essentially.
But late game team fights around objectives is
the team fights that's the issue. Is that those prime pits are such. It's better than Howie ult, but it's not as good as Gideon ult. So it's like, I don't know. I definitely think she's up there. Yeah.
It's the other abilities that kind of throw her down for me. What do you think?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Okay, this is gonna be a little bit. Oh my god!
You keep bringing mistakes, man.
I promise you, brother, this is not for click. I really put it up there, man. I think the character, in my opinion, and I'm reaching out because you won't budge. I'm reaching out to Wolf here. I think that character is B tier. I think they're B tier. I cannot remember the last time I saw this character locked in a higher ranking rank game. I think they are a good character in pubs. That ult is on a relatively high cooldown. She does have a little bit of mobility for herself, and she does have some annoying poke damage, but I do think some other characters do just bring with their hard CCs a little bit more like Belica. So I don't know. I would place Gadget a step below Belica, basically in most instances, and a step below Gideon. And because of that, I do think she is okay within her own rights, but not quite as impactful as those other two. I do understand the ult is like really solid and whatnot, but I don't know if, in my opinion, despite the slowness and all, it is really good. I think it's 80%, right? Slow off of the ticks on her is really solid, but I don't know. I'd personally probably put her closer to B tier.
Okay. Yeah, I think she's really good. And looking at this list, like I when we go back to the to revisit the list, I'm gonna make a statement for Faye, because I think her and Faye are kind of in the same points, where Faye does a really good damage on her ultimate and pulls everyone in position. And then like her main damage ability is not that high. Yeah, just kind of the same way with like around team fights and around objectives. Her ult's really good. It does a lot of damage. It slows. It's going to make people kind of run away rather than engage. The bomb does a lot of damage, but it's delayed damage, and then the two other abilities are kind of useless for the most part, like damage wise, compared to like Faye as well. But I don't know. I kind of think they're both in that A tier, and I'm gonna go back and we'll make arrangements. But I'm still kind of around A with Gadget.
Yeah, like I get a question. Question for you: when was the last time you saw Gadget ever locked in a high rank or OPL game or any tournament?
We've seen some. More recently, I don't think we've seen more recently. Let me really quick here bring something.
I can tell you from the last two tournaments that she was locked in once and she lost. And the reason that she was locked in, when I talked to them afterwards, was because somebody's internet was breaking up and their ping had spiked so high, they wanted a character they could throw the ability out and be unlikely to miss. And that was the only reason they played the character.
Yeah, so going up the most recent OPL, actually, Faye has a lot more play. And that's why I kind of want to bump Faye up. She had a lot, like the most recent big tournament. Faye had a lot more play than Gadget
Swap
did.
them. I tell you, put Gadget B, Faye A. I don't know. That ultimate it's a shredder, but
it's nuts.
But that's like her thing.
Yeah.
It's just the ultimate, right? And I don't know. You in laning phase, which one are you more afraid of? I'm more afraid of Faye than I am Gadget.
No, like both are going to be able to clear pretty efficiently. Yeah, I am of the opinion. Like, yeah, I'd cast my vote for NB. I've given kind of my reasons and my thoughts on it. I do think she's just she's not as good as some of the other options and stuff, and so like I just don't rank her as high personally. Okay. But
we'll leave it there for now, and then we'll revisit it so we can get to the others here. Decker, one of the least played supports in the game. I mean, she ult is good. Long range poke's annoying. Doesn't apply the support items like Narbash or Lamako can, so that kind of brings her down. Not like unplayable C tier, not great support A tier or A plus. I think for me, B tier is kind of where Decker just is chilling. Like I'm not like if someone picks Decker on my team, I'm like, yeah, you could have picked someone else, but I'm not like, okay, dude, we lost. But when someone picks Wukong, FaZe, Gadget, or Countess, I'm like, why would you pick that character?
Yeah, it's a fair point. I'm not afraid. I'm not worried when I have a Decker. I would prefer something else.
Yeah.
But like as far as supports go, there's worse options. So yeah, I'd say B's good for me.
Oh my god, I say A tier.
Okay, dude.
Yeah,
Do you?
dude, listen, I don't think there's a support who can help snowball by helping build a lead. Like that stun is lethal. We've seen it win games. It has super solid setup and it guarantees damage for a carry. It can be used as an engage or disengage tool, as well as the fact that her ult as well basically forces the enemy team to either have a mobility of the kit to be able to get out of the cage or run blink. That ult can dictate karmas. A is average. I do not think Decker is a below average.
Wouldn't you rather have
support.
like a Muriel or a Narbash than a Decker though?
Yeah, it's like she's the anti-Muriel for me. She has a really solid early game with her lane presence and her stuns, and if it's capitalized on, the game can become a snowball. While on the other side, Muriel just scales super well to the late, where Decker has not fallen off, but she's in the trenches. She's fallen off the cliff completely. And with that in mind, I do think both have their merits. And the only reason I would put Decker in A tier is because the only part of the game that is guaranteed is the early game. And Decker guarantees early game pressure. That is
you get the pressure for sure, but I don't know, man.
I'd rather just heal through it.
Yeah, it's like Narbash can heal.
Yeah.
Mako has early game pressure, but when it comes to late game, does a lot of damage or does a lot of things well. Decker ult is impactful for sure, but against non-mobile characters, Blink's pretty dominant in this game. I'm gonna stick with B on this one. What about you, Wolfie?
I'm gonna say B. I'm gonna say B. Yeah.
All right.
I think the only thing that's really good about her is the stun and the wall on the ultimate. But the wall, you blink out of, there's movement to get out of. I guess it depends.
So you definitely play against it if you know you're going against a Decker or something like that.
Yeah. And not to mention, I hate Decker as a character because she always runs Marauder's Watch, always runs ADC. Like when ADC Decker was running rampant. Oh
yeah,
my
a lot of
God.
people they don't build her support Decker, but if we're taking where it's true value, like she's a support, you're supposed to build this way. The other characters just apply things for their team. She can't.
Yeah, I think that's what puts her to B. That she
the
can't,
itemization means she can't apply the items. Yeah, that's true. That's fair. It's very fair.
All right, Greystone. Probably the only tank that doesn't have any CCs, right? He just slows with
His
items.
ult, that's it.
Just the ultimate. Doesn't. Yeah. I'm not when I go against Greystone. I'm never really worried. I'm just he's running at me. I can dash or anything like that. I just kind of keep that pace. You can just outrun him essentially. It might come down to itemization to make the character good, but if that's the case, then he isn't really that great, right? To begin with.
Yeah.
I rather much have I rather much have a Steel for sure. Aurora, I would rather have an Aurora than I would have a Greystone. I think me personally, I would probably put B tier. I don't think he's underwhelming in C tier, but he's not a terrible pick, but not the best of picks. I think B for me. What about you guys?
Yeah. What about you, Ego?
I don't know. He's a big old slab of meat is what he is.
He's just there to tank autos, man.
I'm just going to eat some abilities, and I'm going to hope that y'all do everything else, because if you don't, I'm going to die twice.
Yeah.
And that's going to be my life here. But
and if you if you are dying, unless it's you're the last person alive on both sides of the team, if you are dying, then essentially means you are going to get your team is losing the team fight. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and okay. So my issue is like a lot of these. I'm like saying, and I know no, this is like over like okay, take into account quick battles, take into account like ranked, and take into account like OPL play.
Pro play, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm taking a look at this, and I'm just like, Greystone is just present technically.
Like he's
Like,
never picked in the OPL, right?
Yeah,
He didn't have-
yeah.
wasn't
That
picked at all.
character was locked in. That is true. You have been locked into a quick play game. I just he's not feeding, but he's also not. He is never overwhelming a consistent or a knowledgeable solo laner in a lot of instances. And I do think, there's some new items that have, made him a little bit better with a combination of like Shockwave Generator, being able to stun and hopefully like guarantee some of the damage because his ult on re-entering, if I remember correctly, does do true damage as well, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, true damage CC on the ult, but I don't put a lot of value on that because it is dependent of a lack of something happening from the only other team and not you proactively making something happen, if you get what I mean, as the character. For example, like, Rampage, you ult, you position with some of his mobility, and then you hit them with the rock. You are being proactive. You are making the game plan happen. Your game plan as Greystone is you're going to kill me, and I hope you don't waddle out of the ult and that sets up for my team.
Yeah.
I do think there's things that make him better, but I don't think better enough to be an A tier.
Any agree or disagree there, Wolfie?
For me, every time I have a Greystone, I'm usually trying to kill somebody, and he's behind me like a chihuahua biting my ankles, dude. Like, I'm just like, he's behind me, and I'm like, Greystone, not right now. Give me 2 minutes, and I'll come right back to you. Let me go kill the Morgesh, and then I'll come back to you. Just give me a minute, dude. I can't tell you the amount of times where I'm fighting somebody, and he's behind me, and he's just spinning his fucking sword at me, and I'm just like, what are you gonna fucking do, bro? You're gonna die in front of me and then come back and maybe CC me? Like, you can't position his ult. No, Greystone is like, guys, wait for me to die. My ult will change the game. No way, dude.
Yeah. And
like
also, you can just not kill him too. Like you can just ignore him, like you said.
Yeah, you just run past him and you kill everybody else, and then there he is spinning his fucking sword. Like, I'm coming. I'm gonna whittle you down like your self-esteem. Like, there's nothing. I don't know, man. I just can't. I've never been afraid of a Greystone.
Yeah. So agree. B tier.
I'd
Next
say
up,
C tier for
C tier?
me, to be honest.
Whittle you down like your self-esteem.
I feel like he's more impactful. Like, as far as the tank goes, at least he's doing something. He's like absorbing abilities or autos at least. These other characters, I feel like, are just kind of useless when it comes to like late game.
I feel like when he blocks an auto attack, that's like his like, I'm doing my job. I feel like that's it. I'd say C tier for me.
Ego?
Yeah, B tier, B tier.
All right, so I'm in agreement with B then.
Okay, you guys take B then.
I voted. Okay, Grim. Grim.
Man, are we talking release day, Grim? Because that boy is in S.
No, this is 5 times nerf Grim. Recently got buffed, but still just Grim. I'm gonna say B tier. I think
still just Grim.
He does do great damage. His lack of mobility is pretty risky. His clear isn't as amazing. I think better than C, but I would much rather play Faye or Gadget if I'm playing mid lane. So I think for me it'll be B tier, but not like unplayable C tier.
There you go.
Yeah, dude. This character, I personally hate. So like. A part of me wants to be like A+ so that every time I've been diffed by him doesn't feel so bad. But the reality of the matter is the character does have a very large pick rate at the higher levels.
Yeah, I don't think
it's pressure and sitting on his lane just is a remedy for putting him behind, and then he has solid poke, but you can heal through it, right? And see
the ultimate 2 can be kind of blocked as well. And smart players, you're starting to see that now. Like players are actually body blocking these abilities because this ult takes a while to travel to get to you. But the lack of mobility kind of just makes them rough in that laning phase.
And the counter argument to like, oh, well, if you kind of sit on this lane, he can across map clear. This character is wildly mana hungry, especially in the early phases. So if the jungler is showing presence to whatever lane that you're in, and you either A, don't have a support they're going to help you push up, or B, are stuck in the mid lane and you are being set on by the jungler, which is kind of the mid lane theme, you are going to get put behind, and teams at higher levels are going to be able to do that. Yeah. He does have far away clear. That is true. Is it consistent? No, it's a skill shot. And also it's very mana heavy, so you're not going to be able to sustain it for very long. And if the enemy team just decides to slow push your lane, then you are screwed. I agree with what you said, Wolfie, about like the spell shield for him. It's like, nice. I have bought myself enough time to blink because I am not hard CC'd. And I still have my Laffy Daffy Lucky Ducky dash in my other pocket. And it's like, there's just better options than Grim. And I would actually prefer it to stay this way. I would love for this character to stay in the state that he's currently in.
Yeah. And for me on Grim, I'm sorry, Cordy.
No, go ahead.
For me on Grim, with the tier, like when I picture his ult coming at me, I picture like Patrick screaming at SpongeBob, and here comes the giant fish, and it's just the thing takes so slow, it's laughable. And when my tank just moseys on in front of it and just hits you with the question marks, like what was that for, Grim? And then Grim's just sitting there like, 20 more seconds, I'm gonna send it again. I'll be out of mana, but I'm gonna send it again, dude. It's gonna happen. The Q is probably it's weird because like it is a skill shot, but it is so far like in the laning phase. If you can land your Qs, it's so painful. It really is. But I think like an item like Blue Heart will negate that.
Blue Heart's a good option to counter that too.
And his team fight, what are you gonna do? Sit behind a wall and ult somebody through a wall? You're like a Walmart Wraith. Like I don't know. I think B tier is a good spot for him.
Okay.
I have been taking him in the support lane, and as far as supports go, you want Mako and you want Narbash, but when you're in there bullying them with the Qs, and then they're going behind the tower into the bush, and you Q them again, they're dead. What a rush! It makes me want to master him.
I think in the most recent, like we didn't see Graham at all in the most recent like league or tourney.
No, I don't think you guys did. I was watching the games.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at my stuff here. Actually, it was played twice. Graham was played twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Where was he played? Do you know? Was it mid? No way.
I don't remember.
Must have been solo. I know there's some Grim solo laners out there.
I don't remember, but I think comfortably B. Richter. I like Richter, man. I feel like people should be playing more Richter. For me,
I don't know.
For me, A tier minimum. I don't know if he's going any higher. But I think the pull is nuts. The ult is amazing. Silence is huge in this game.
All right, what about you? I'm not sure. I feel like the nerfs hit him pretty hard this past patch.
But it's more like it's less damagey, but it's a nerf / buff. It's like he's doing less damage, but he's doing more. Longer. He's doing more silence and he's doing more duration on the stun.
I don't think he's anything sub A tier. Like at the baseline, I think he is an A tier character. A is for average. He can be middle of the road, but he also can be wildly impactful. And the range on that ult is susceptibly large. Like do not think you're getting hit by that bad boy, and then that last chain grabs you by the ankle and treats you like Loki in the Avengers movie. It's a little larger than what you would expect it to be. So I would definitely put him in the silence being made a little bit longer. I've definitely noticed as someone who normally plays like power roles and stuff where I normally am in a potential spot to get targeted, especially after the jungle or mid lane. Not being able to activate your karma and just guaranteeing the other team's damage onto you is generally really good. Not being able to click your buttons is generally really good. So I do think he is definitely an A tier character.
Yeah, I'd agree with A.
All right, A for Richter boy. Play some Richter boys. He's fun. He's good. Adele. I'm surprised we're not seeing more Adele. She hasn't been nerfed. I've been wanting a nerf for a long time. She hasn't been nerfed. I'm surprised we don't see her in ranked more. But it could be just the lower level ranks or something like that, because we're just getting into the rank reset. So I think she's really good.
She is. Her kid is like, you can't counter build it. There's no amount of protection or counter build it. Like, what are you going to do? Not build health on your tank? Like, you can't. Can't counter build it. She's like the pink-haired Antichrist. I hate her so much. But the
Shieldbreaker
amount of things.
helps
Do
a
you think
little
if
bit.
Shieldbreaker helps?
But even then, like
There's so much of it to break.
Yeah, and she's still just a really good character.
I find like even when she's one of those characters that you put down deep in the solo lane, when she shows up to a team fight and ults you, the damage it's guaranteed. No
Absurdly
matter
good.
how far bad, no matter how down bad she is, the ult is the ult. It's kind of like Steel, right? The Steel's ult is game changing. Adele's ult, even if she's down bad, it still hurts. I personally don't like her. She's done some terrible things to me, but I don't know, like
A
the
or A
blink
plus?
silence. I want to say A, but before the nerf, I'd say A plus. But I don't know. I will say the blink silence ult combo. I think it's what the karmas that put her into A.
I think A plus. What do you think, Ego?
I'm thinking A plus, in
A
my
plus?
opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, true damage is never bad. True damage is never average.
Yeah.
Doing percentile of your HP damage is never average, especially when you're scaling on tankier picks, you know. And the thing is, like some of these higher ranked characters, like Crunch, like Grux, they scale with health, and so they're taking more damage if they get caught in this ult. And not to mention, outside of her karmas, her rope lash is also a root. So she drops that, lashes you, that is more guaranteed damage, and she can, establish that across a whole team. She forces mobility, she can sustain for herself, she has a way to close the distance, and she has a way to keep you in the ult, not including the karma loadout she brings. And not only that, she synergizes with other high and prio pick mages. So I don't know. The character previously was S.
Yeah.
I don't know if she is still, within that space. We're not seeing her top picked as much as what she used to be. But yeah, she's definitely, no less than A plus in my opinion.
Okay, I can kind of agree, and I think the reason we don't see her a lot like being top picked is just because Warriors are so dominant at the moment. Those three Warriors are just really good.
Spot, for sure. She's one of those tanks that's actually a threat. All the other tanks is just not good.
True.
I'm happy you could say that about Sephiroth. Okay, moving on.
The S in Sephiroth stands for S plus. Okay.
Speaking of S plus, F tier for Marty, right?
Okay, so like, I would like to say character is terrible, unplayable. People ban her out so that you don't waste your time getting embarrassed with your Pookie Snoopy ripoff cyber wolfo. It's fine. I see it prowling towards me in lane, and all I see is Wolfie in all fours with the wolf hat on, not even mildly intimidated, to be honest.
I'm telling you, she's F tier because she gets banned all the time. If she doesn't get banned, she's S tier 100%. Like once they nerf her and get her in line, I want to say she's A. But that ultimate, unless they do some UI changes or they take away some of that CC, she's gonna be A plus at minimum.
Like
minimum
a failed
plus, I think.
Without the damage, into a knockup is in an AoE on something that attacks on its own and then also pushes towers and farms even if you're dead is nuts.
It's insane.
Also, if anyone has any argument that she is not an S plus character, on her release and a week after her release, I went to the OPL championship team and they said this character is the most insane character in the game. It's absolutely unhinged.
She's a character that can, win the game for you. We've seen it.
She carries.
She does so much damage when you're going against her. If you're not playing a Marty yourself, you just kind of get bullied super hard in mid lane. She doesn't have an escape. That's her main downfall. But you can combat that with double blink. That's an option. But yeah, just AoE presence, the roots, the burst damage she provides is insane. The big target that is beating you while you're trying to cast abilities or things like that. Just she provides so much. I think minimum A plus, but I think S tier is for her.
Yeah. That dog is insane. The fact that it could kill the lonely Narbash trying to speed boost away and then do good boy, go get the blue buff, and then it goes and gets the blue buff.
It's insane.
That's at minimum.
Morgish, she got nerfed recently again for some reason.
Ego, this is your territory.
It's got to be here, right? C, nah, she can't be F, right? There's no way she's F tier.
I'd say she's C, but she goes to B if she gets her stacks.
Yeah, B, she's really good.
I think late game, if she has all her stacks, like Mortgage at 5 stacks late game, I think has A, if not A plus tier. So, oh my god. So
she's
this is
kind
my
of like
argument.
Countess, though. She's just she gets to end game. She's like Countess, but she never gets there because of the stacks.
So here's my thing. Here's my thoughts for it. Mori on release was an A plus tier character. She was very good. You could make the argument she was S tier. I wouldn't kind of say so, but you could make the argument she was definitely like, you could make her lose, you could put her behind, but like the mitigations, the heals were too strong in combination with the mobility, like I do agree with. Her early mid pressure is bad, her mid game mid pressure is bad, her late game kill potential is great, and ultimately I think one of the players of Honolulu said it best. The B-Cert, another streamer, said, yeah, you know, you can farm and you can focus up and you can play safe. You can run double bleak up into the late game and you can be a threat after 25 minutes. But why bother when you can play another character who is close to that at that point of the game, but also is doing stuff to contribute to your team fight, that's contributing to your sieging of objectives or towers, that's contributing to your rotations before that time takes place.
Yeah.
It's the character since the back breaks hasn't seen nearly the amount of success as she had, to the point where I would put her closer to B tier instead of the C, probably with Shinbi, but like definitely ranked below it. If you do get your stacks and you do get her to the late game, she can be prominent, she can be good, but the problem is she just isn't.
I personally would I'd much rather have or play Faye or Gadget over a Morgesh. So that's what kind of puts me, you know, in her not being in the B tier as them. But if those are the things, like if she gets to this stage of the game, right? You have to play around it to make her to get to that stage of the game. But if you guys both agree on B?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree on B.
All right. I will keep her at B. And then the final character on this list, my personal favorites, actually. So
first mastery.
Yeah, my first mastery. Crazy. Is gonna be Yin. She was recently nerfed, and there was insane outrage from these guys, but she's still really good. Probably one of the best players is the Ranger. The other person who I think is A plus alongside Sparrow is Yin. But that is for me personal. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm not a big Yin player. I would say A, if A plus maybe before the nerfs. Like the nerf to her E didn't really do much. She still clears crazy. She still gets to end game faster than all the other ADCs.
All it changed was like, you know, level 1 through 5, your clear is not that great.
Yeah,
but she's still really good.
Yeah, I'd say A, arguable A plus.
I have seen this person banned in ranked and first picked.
Yeah. I'd say A. I feel comfortable A. She's an average carry, but she does the things she wants to do well, and she has a very solid playmaking ult. However, we have only seen one team, you know, in the pro level really pick her up, and that's kind of been bad timing. Granted, they did win the season 1 championship with her, so like maybe that's indicative of something in itself, but I think that's more like player and team mechanics by contrary to like the character herself, you know.
I just don't know how people are using these ults, because I feel like it's not as it's impactful in a different way compared to Sparrow. Sparrow can like hold the ult and like just kind of run through people. With her, it's really great peel for herself if she needs to be. If you can catch someone out in the position, if you can, you know, have a really good distance ult, where you're not leading it by a lot, but you can catch somebody out and catching that person off out of combat and keep them in the air for fucking 3 seconds. They're just insta dead. It's impactful, but a different type of impactful. For me, I'm gonna go A plus. Ego, you say A?
I'd be comfortable with A plus.
What about
I'd be
you,
comfortable
Wolfie?
with A plus.
Yeah, I'd say A and then A plus, if anything. If you could argue A plus, I'd say, because if they're not taking Sparrow, they're taking Yin, right?
Yeah, and I do think she has the thing that, you know, Drongo is missing. She has the thing that, you know, kind of to a degree Revenant is missing, and that is a huge team fight making ult. Like you said, it's being able to just suspend somebody up there for like at max ranges, like 4.3 seconds or something along those lines.
Even like even if you don't get that max range, it's still keeping someone in the air for even 2 seconds, allowing someone else to hit CCs, and you could definitely make some plays. It's impactful, but in a different way compared to Sparrow. They both have insane clear. They both have steroids. The other characters don't have those kind of things. For me, so yeah, I think A+ is where I would put it. My for ADC, Sparrow and Yin are my top 2 for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I like that. I like A+ for.
Okay, so revisiting this tier list.
Well,
Anybody who stands out.
I like Faye a lot more than I'm liking like Gadget and Morgish. I kind of want to bump Faye up to A.
Yeah.
I'm agree with that. Yeah.
You guys are cool with that?
Yeah. Pump Faye up to A tier. She's like A is average, right? So I do think that she deserves to like be up there comparatively to some of the other characters. Across the board, once again, Steel S tier, maybe Wolfie.
He's S tier. If he can jungle, he's S tier. I promise you. But he sucks in the jungle.
That's true, right? Like
true.
Crunch, Grux, those guys are good in solo and jungle. His clear is like
he's a support though. He's a support, and he holds his own with the big boys in solo.
When you're playing support Steel though, you're kind of like giving up lane, I think, compared to like a Mako and stuff like that.
You are for the team fight objective. You pretty much are.
And then if you're playing Steel support, then you're a little bit more on the squishier side because you're not getting as much harm compared to a solo Steel.
Okay, so question here: do we want to move Grux and Seraph up to S tier?
They do get banned, but I feel like people ban Seraph. So maybe you move Seraph to S because she gets banned every time. But Grux, I don't know. I've been seeing him in comp games.
I've seen Sarah go through. It's usually like Crunch and Grux that are banned, and Sarah is like the third top pick.
Really? Okay, I've been seeing the opposite.
They provide CC. She does have great clear, but they both have great clear. She just the lack of CC is my kind of main thing of keeping her below. Crunch.
I'd agree with that. If the difference is CC and the kit, then I think we should move Grux up to S tier then.
Okay.
Just because, we've seen him come up so big, the displacement, the stun, the damage boost, the bleed, which has an anti-heal on it, and he has mobility that isn't conditional like, some other characters. And, it's weird because he's a video game character, but it kind of feels like he's earned that spot because he's been prioed for so long, right? He's been like emphasized for just being a solid character, and recently it just shot him up to the spotlight. So I think if we're talking about the degrees of CC, that Grux definitely kind of shoots up there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anybody else who stands out. I think Greystone should be C. Kai maybe C, but I don't know. I think I hate Kai just because of for some reason all the new players gravitate towards him.
Yeah, that's I don't know why.
So I guess people play him like he's C tier, but I guess he has the potential to be B.
Okay, looking at this list, and looking at the mages, are we saying Howie is the second best mage out of all the other mages?
I really think Gideon should go to A+ too. I really think.
Or do we bring Howie down to A?
I think Howitzer is, oh my god, I can't keep living in this hot take hellhole. I run the league, they're gonna message me. I think Howitzer is the second best mage in the game.
I think you keep him there. Move Gideon up to A+.
I don't think the thing is I don't know if so like comparatively, like outside of mages, would you say, okay, so for example, would you say, a Howitzer is comparable to like a Mako and a Steel?
In support?
No, just like as a character. Do you think his impact to the team is comparable to a Mako and a Steel and an Adele?
No, his team fight ult is...
It's very situational. Like his team fight ult, you run out of pretty easily. It's really just around the objectives.
That's what I mean. It's like that Gideon's got the game changer ult. Howie doesn't, but Howie was A.
Howie does a lot of damage.
Howie also has the displacement, and damage.
Yeah.
He's also like safe. Like Gideon's the safest. Howitzer's probably the second best safest, just because the knockback and the ult to get in the air and kind of like dash away a little bit with his like trajectory.
Yeah.
Okay, either they're both A plus or they're both A. I don't think either one is kind of like in the matchup. Howitzer is a better matchup for sure, but in like kind of standard.
I think they're both A plus. Because I mean, if we're gonna Gideon, I know for a fact Gideon's A plus, and if you want to keep Howie with him, then yeah. But I don't know. The damage is nice, but I'm thinking of like in terms of team fights and game changing ults. I just walk out of Howie ults.
Yeah,
I just walk out of him. It's
but he's also like doesn't put himself in a bad spot like Gideon can. Gideon has to use a teleport or maybe even a blink to make himself safe. Howitzer can go up in the air and then just come back down in a different direction.
I'm also thinking of like the silence. I don't know if you guys have seen the tech with like Gideon where he can ult up and then dash and his ult stays where he ulted, but his character model moves.
I feel like that's kind of a bug that
it's more cheese, I guess. Okay.
I guess I'm okay with this. Both of them being A plus. I think they're both like kind of on par.
Yeah, because if we move both of them down, then it's saying like there's not a character in the game who's not like there's not a mage in the game who's above average, basically. So yeah, I think both of them can be up there.
So as far as the A, we all think they're all average characters. I think so.
I don't know. It might be a hot take, but I think Quag is lower. I really do, man. It's because like the like 1% of Quang players, the 1% of Quang players, they make him good, but for the rest, it's like whatever. But
yeah. I get it. Like when I see a Quang just hold left click at people, I'm just like he's a walking gold buff. But when I see him in like good players' hands,
and it's always been the case. It's always been the case right with Quang.
Yeah.
I think I'm good with this, man. I think I'm good with this.
I'm solid with this. I like this.
Murdoch should be C. It changed my mind. Oh, man.
All right, guys. That is our tier list. If you disagree, then you're bad at the game.
Let's go. It's fact.
Amen.
You're shit. Come 1v1
Trash
me
can?
mid. Creed. I'm kidding. Please don't come over here until my rank gates. I'm begging, bro.
Where is... over there. Why do I look like this?
I think your camera's not up.
I don't know why. I think I know why.
Am I twice? It's my... I have 66% of the podcast?
That's insane. He got the property rights.
What if I know I'm bad and agree?
That's insane.
But yeah,
that's literally
thanks good to us for all the new players that are coming to all the guys that are playing ranked. This is kind of like a good starting point to help you guys, with bans, picks and bans for all the new players that are coming to the game. Those are really great characters. Try to go in that A higher, to help get a better chance of winning your matches and understanding the game. Not playing Iggy and getting steamrolled.
Literally, that's what the tier list is. Stop playing Iggy.
Don't play Iggy, all right? He's fucking terrible.
Please.
He's the only F that we put on. He was the only F that we put in there.
God, we finally did the tier list, dude.
Finally,
I'm
dude.
So happy with it. I'm happy with it, dude.
I'm not ready, dude. I'm gonna just get killed by Murdoch. C plus, by the way, and
C plus, by the way. I literally wrote down my favorite Wolfie quotes from this. Wukong is at least A tier. Wolfie. Murdoch is C tier on his best day.
Dude, I love when I put Iggy at S tier. Wolfie was like having an actual aneurysm, dude. He thought it was legit. A stroke,
dude. I hate
he
that.
He thought we were serious.
Oh man. I think that's
right? That is it for the podcast, man. We got a tier list done. The console launches on December 15th, which there might be some balance changes, so this tier list could be complete useless if they hard nerf Marty and all these other SA plus characters. But before we go, where can we find you guys at? Wolfie.
You would go first, Ego.
Oh. No, well, Wolfie, you go first, dog. I'm putting it on nervous. You. Do your intro. Do it now.
No, I'm not doing my intro. Twitch.tv/MikeWolfie. You'll see me over there complaining and showing you why Steel is S tier. And I'll be over there crying when Iggy shows up as well. I stream Tuesdays all day, Thursdays all day, Saturdays most nights. And that's really it about for me. What about you, Ego?
Guys, hey man, I'm Wolfie. I'm over here representing. I'm joking. Yo, guys, I'm Ego. Mr. Mick Hot Takes apparently over here. I am the primary organizer for Overpowered. We have a game tomorrow, as within the off season of December. We are doing challenger games every single week. And while you guys are here, if you do not know, we are having another scouting event this Sunday. So if you think that you know, deserve to show why your phase is S tier, come out, hang out with us because teams are scouting and are recruiting. I don't know, maybe you come out, go a little bit crazy with the Igster and content ends up picking you up. But with that in mind, please join us at Overpowered. Our Twitch is Overpowered Esport, and we post weekly schedules so you know when you can find the heart of Paragon competitive content.
All right, guys, and I'll finish off, man. I'm Cordy. I'm gonna be streaming a lot this month. With console coming out, I want to just be able to stream a lot more and try to get a lot of content out around this. So I stream twitch.tv/Cordy. I think the only day I won't be streaming this month is going to be Saturday. So you guys probably, and then maybe like closer to Christmas, I won't be streaming like for a couple of days, but for the most part, it'll be like pretty much all month. And I put a lot of YouTube content as well.
Yeah, he does.
All right, dudes. Everyone take care. We'll catch you next time.
Catch you next time. YouTube, bye.
Bye, YouTube. Bye, Mom.